Signature TV.
In the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people, our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build influence with intention, our voices reflect who we are and carry our identity. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts. This is who we are. Rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life, and purposeful in every action we take. It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible. And it is history taking shape from the dream team. We can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC.
This is bigger than one person. This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV. News in your pocket. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lele. In the headlines, tension mounts ahead of Monday clash between Soludo and traders. Onanuga calls for shoot-at-sight action against infrastructure vandals. Israel partially reopens Rafah crossing for limited civilian movement. And file suggests Epstein made $75,000 payments linked to Mandelson. Details in a moment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The Anambra State government has announced the expiration of the order closing Onitsha mine market. In a statement, Dr. Law Mefo, the state's commissioner for information, directed all traders to resume their normal business activities from Monday, February 2nd, 2026. The government confirmed that the closure order expired on Sunday, with the market now set to reopen on Monday. The government reassured residents of adequate security measures and encouraged reporting any security issues to the designated helpline 5111. Civil servants and teachers were reminded that the pro-rata salary policy remains in effect. No work, no Monday. No work on Monday, no pay. Tensions are running high in Anambra State as traders at Onitsha main market prepare to reopen on Monday, despite threats from the indigenous people of Biafra to enforce a sit-at-home order. The standoff highlights the ongoing clash between government authority and pro-Biafran activists in the southeast. IPOB, through its spokesman Ima Powerful, had urged traders, banks, schools, civil servants, and transporters to observe a peaceful Monday sit-at-home in protest of the continued detention of its leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. The group framed the directive as civil disobedience in response to Governor Charles Soludo's week-long market closure. State authorities, however, insist that the order has crossed into criminality. Commissioner for Information Law Mefo emphasized that all markets and shops must reopen, warning that non-compliance will be considered economic sabotage. Attendance registers will be used to monitor traders, and security forces including police, army, and local vigilantes will be deployed across Onitsha to ensure compliance. Traders who defy the directive risk losing their shops. Market leaders reportedly conveyed the reopening plan to traders through audio messages, emphasizing strict adherence to the governor's instructions. Governor Soludo also announced plans to construct Onitsha main market over the next 3 years, with a return to the regional master plan, signaling a push to end long-standing disruptions caused by the Monday sit-at-home. A public affairs analyst, Nnamdi Abana, says the recent measures taken by Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo to put an end to the Monday sit-at-home in the state are justified. Abana, who spoke as a guest on Signature Morning Show, noted that Anambra State has suffered significant economic setbacks, including the loss of its ranking in internally generated revenue due to trillions of naira allegedly lost as a result of the sit-at-home protests. He explained that traders in Onitsha markets are largely staying away from their shops in solidarity with the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, rather than out of fear of unknown gunmen. According to Abana, the continued sit-at-home has ended up damaging the local economy and livelihoods instead of serving as effective protest against the federal government, which he noted is responsible for Kanu's detention.
What is going on in Anambra State is quite unfortunate, and as the governor, the Constitution empowers him to preside over the security of the state.
Yeah.
Apart from being the chief executive officer of the state, he's the chief security officer of the state, empowered by the laws of the land to protect lives and property within his domain. So it is within the governor's right to make such declarations concerning Onitsha market, because What we have in today's Anambra State is a misnomer. Anambra State used to be the highest generating state, highest internally generating revenue state. But over the years, that internal revenue has dwindled. Why? Because of this subject of sit at home. Trillions of naira, and they are lost any particular day that the marketers or the traders decide not to trade. Take for instance in the south in Anambra State, every Monday the economic activity is grounded. Then any day that Martin Nnamdi appears in court, the economic activity is also grounded.
Reacting to the alleged threat by IPOB that markets should be shut on Monday, February 2nd, Brown advised traders to disregard the directive and return to business activities to avoid further economic losses and possible sanctions from the state government.
See this instruction given by IPOB, from my perception, any civil servant or any trader, whatever occupation that refuses to adhere to the instruction of the state government will have him or herself to blame. I mean, look at the civil servants. Who pays them? It has been said that he who pays the piper and takes the tune.
Yes.
If the government pays the workers, the government has every right to tell the workers to resume. I'm not IPOB.
Okay.
Already, the traders are dancing to the tune of the government. So, on that particular day, I don't expect the traders to adhere to the instruction of IPOB. Rather, they will adhere to the proclamation of the governor. They don't want to run into trouble. Because the governor gave them options. Option A is for me to run down the entire market and put up another, maybe ultra-modern market. Option B is for shanties to be removed, the market will be renovated, some shops will be reallocated, and so on. The traders went for option B. So that will tell you that dialogue is already in progress and some agreements have been reached.
The Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has confirmed that the February 2nd sit-at-home across the southeast will go ahead despite internal disputes within the group. IPOB spokesman Conrad Ima Powerful alleged that two members of the group's Directorate of State, Chinasa Woro and Chike Idoziem, plotted to hijack the organization and divert attention from detained leader Nnamdi Kanu. Powerful accused the Joe of meeting with Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo by trying to stop him from issuing statements on Kanu's detention. He also dismissed claims that he is a pseudonym, insisting he speaks for IPOB, and reaffirmed the sit-at-home as sacrosanct. The sit-at-home is meant to show solidarity with traders of Onitsha main market who were previously forced to close shops due to a state government ban. Powerful warned the public to ignore misinformation and comply with the directive, saying anti-Biafra forces have infiltrated IPOB to spread confusion. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, had called for swift actions against the vandals caught stealing or damaging materials on federal highways. Onanuga's comment came on Sunday after a video circulated on X showing the vandals cutting starter bars and shoulder roads at the Badon Ilase Ife Federal Highway reconstruction site. The clip shared by user criticized those destroying government efforts to deliver quality roads, describing the vandals as unquestionable and the worst species of citizens. Onanuga suggested extreme measures, urging authorities to deal decisively with such offenders. Vandalism on public infrastructure extends beyond roads. Vandals have also targeted oil pipelines, railway tracks, and electricity cables and poles, causing services disruptions and, in some cases, fatalities. The Ogoni Liberation Initiative, OLI, a pressure group in Ogoni Land, Rivers State, is calling for full accountability over $300 million compensation fund reportedly released by the federal government for the development and welfare of the Ogoni people. The fund has been at the center of controversy for years, with some Ogoni residents alleging misappropriation by politicians, including a former state governor. The group insists those responsible must be held accountable. The demand came during a peaceful protest on Saturday in Bori, Kana local government area, led by OLI leader Douglas Fabeke. Fabeke said decades of appeals to the government have failed to address the suffering of the Ogoni people, and the protest marks the start of a new push to project their demands nationally and internationally if necessary. The group also called for an immediate halt to what it describes as illegal oil exploration in parts of Ogoni land. Protesters, including elderly men and women, carried placards demanding transparency, justice, and an end to alleged unauthorized oil operations in Lukoma communities, Thai local government area. Fabeke highlighted the unresolved plight of 17 Lukoma Ogoni communities destroyed between 1993 and 1998 under the military regime of late General Sani Abacha, which left more than 300 people dead, thousands displaced, and many still homeless. He warned that renewed oil activities in the area threatened the environment, public health, and safety. The group rejected the presence of private oil companies, insisting that only the federal government through NNPC should operate in Ogoni land. Fabeke demanded direct federal control of oil mining lease 11, following inclusive dialogue with the Ogoni people, and warned that failure to act could prompt them to escalate their protests to Abuja and foreign embassies. OLI also issued a 14-day ultimatum to any company operating in Lukoma Ogoni communities to halt operations and remove all equipment from the area. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, said it has filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPCL Limited, over the alleged mismanagement of billions in oil revenues. According to SERAP, the suit filed last Friday at the Federal High Court in Abuja targets the NNPCL for failing to account for $22.3 billion, $49.7 million, £14.3 million, and £5.2 million, as highlighted in the 2022 Auditor General's report. SERAP is also asking the court to compel NNPCL to fully disclose all financial transactions, including details of disbursement, the contractors involved, and the individuals who received the funds. The group says that the missing revenues reflect a broader failure of transparency and accountability in the oil sector, and that this lax oversight has prevented critical public resources from reaching Nigerians. According to SERAP, granting these reliefs would hold those responsible accountable, ensure that funds are returned for public benefit, and help restore confidence in the management of Nigeria's oil wealth, which continues to affect the nation's economic development and the well-being of ordinary citizens. The organization added that tackling corruption in the oil sector is essential to reducing poverty, improving access to basic public services, and strengthening the government's ability to meet its human rights and anti-corruption obligations. Up ahead, Boko Haram's second in command, 10 fighters killed in Borno operation. NDLEA arrests businessman over cocaine concealed on body at Lagos Airport. Details of this and more after the break.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Troops of Operation Hadinkai said it neutralized a top Boko Haram leader, identified as the group's second in command, along with 10 other fighters in Zambisa Forest, Borno State. In a statement on Sunday, the media information officer of the Joint Task Force, Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, confirmed that the terrorists were armed with AK-47 rifles. Uba said that several weapons, bicycles, medical supplies, and other logistics were recovered during the operation, which took place around 11 p.m. on Saturday in the Kamala area of Kondunga local government. Abu Khalid, the second in command, was a key figure in coordinating Boko Haram operations in the Zambisa forest. The neutralization came just 24 hours after troops killed another notorious ISWAP commander, July B, operating in the Gujba axis of Timbuktu Triangle. No casualties were reported among the troops. The JTF said morale remains high as operations continued across Zambisa Forest, the Mandara Mountains, and other known hideouts of Boko Haram and ISWAP. The military high command commended the troops for their dedication, emphasizing the ongoing commitment to restoring lasting peace and economic stability to the Northeast region. In related operations, the Civilian Joint Task Force, working with the military, neutralized 3 other terrorists during an ambush between Nganzalanga and Lumashiri communities in Borno State. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a Brazil-based Nigerian businesswoman, Uche Franklin, at Lagos Murtala Mohammed International Airport for allegedly smuggling cocaine concealed on his body and in his shoes. He was apprehended on Thursday, January 29, during passenger clearance of a South African Airways flight from Brazil to Johannesburg. A body scan flagged the drugs, and a strip search revealed 3 wraps of cocaine, weighing a total of 1.6 kilograms hidden on his body and his footwear. During preliminary questioning, the suspect admitted he purchased the cocaine in Brazil to resell in Nigeria and found his newborn child's naming ceremony. He has been living in Brazil since 2008 and runs a toy business there. In related operations across the country, NDLEA has intercepted large cannabis shipments, including 1,183 kilograms of Canadian loud at Lagos Tinkan Seaport, 2,735 kilograms in Niger State, and hundreds of kilograms in Edo, Anambra, Ondo, and Kano states. Several suspects were arrested, and illegal cannabis farms were destroyed during coordinated raids with support from the Nigerian army. The agency said these seizures underscores its commitment to cracking down on drug trafficking networks and protecting public safety. Investigations into all arrested suspects are ongoing. The Senate Committee on Appropriation has released a timetable for the consideration of the 2026 appropriation bill, with March 17 set as the proposed date for its passage. The development comes as the Senate initiated a probe into railway projects, a contract across the country over concerns about execution and maintenance.
The Senate Committee on Appropriations has unveiled a timetable for the consideration and passage of the 2026 appropriation bill. The schedule, which sets March 17, 2026 as its target date for completion, was disclosed by the chairman of the committee, Senator Solomon Olamilekan, during a meeting of the committee. According to the timetable, public hearings and engagements with ministries, departments, and agencies will be held from Monday, February 2nd to Friday, February 13th, 2026. During this period, subcommittees are expected to interface with heads of MDAs for budget defense and clarifications, while submission and defense of subcommittee reports are scheduled for February 16th to 23rd, 2026.
That the timetable for budget preparation and consideration for 2026 appropriation bill as laid out and amended and seconded by Senator Uzokalu, say aye. Those against say nay. The high service.
Senator Olamilekan stressed the need for urgency and discipline among committee members, urging them to adhere strictly to the timetable. The Senate had earlier inaugurated an ad hoc committee to investigate the contracts and execution of railway projects across the country. The move followed a point of order raised by Senator Abdul Ningi, who drew the attention of the Red Chamber to what he described as the tragic situation affecting the Kano-Kaduna rail line.
There is no live cargo except one that goes to Kaduna and sleep and come back in the morning to Abuja. What that tells you, I was a subcommittee chairman of SHAPI, the government of Goodluck Jonathan then formed billions of naira into that revenue, into that airline, railway. But what is found that, what is amazing and Nigerians are unaware of is that everything that came in terms of the cargo and coaching were second-handed.
Speaking in the same vein, Adamu Aliaro said the reduction in trips was partly due to extensive damage to rail infrastructure caused by bandit attacks.
It is true that the number of trips has dropped drastically from 5 to only 1. And this is simply because the bandits have damaged the truck and they have vandalized the trucks, and it takes a lot of time and resources, and these resources are not available. As you rightly know, even contractors that have finished their jobs, they are now finding it difficult to get paid. So the same problem is now extending to the services like Nigerian Railway Corporation. We are on it. I called the Minister of Transportation and also the MD Radio Corporation to discuss this issue almost on a weekly basis.
In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio challenged the suggestion that funding was the main constraint, arguing that the core issues are the age and quality of the rail infrastructure, which he claimed are substandard.
We have a responsibility as a Senate, founded in the Nigerian Constitution, to ask questions, to look into these things, and to correct them. We have always said that we're a corrective parliament. So we must look into these things and let Nigerians know where they went wrong. And if there are people that kept the money for us, saved the money for us to buy the second-hand ones, then we get them to bring back the money. From their hands alone, we can recover enough money to repair the coaches you are talking about, if we need to repair them. Or we ask for a total refurbishment. That's why we want a holistic look into this. So
the investigation is expected to cover project design, funding execution standards, and maintenance structures.
The Rivers State government has dismissed claims that it denied the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Yesaweke, and the Rivers State Coordinator of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, Desmond Akawo, access to the Yakubu Gowon Stadium, Port Harcourt, for the inauguration of the political support group for President Bola Tinubu. Akawo had alleged on Friday that the state government blocked the group from using the stadium for the inauguration of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. He made the allegation while addressing supporters during the group's inauguration ceremony held at the Captain Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Port Harcourt. The claim was later reinforced by the FCT Minister Nyesom, who, in his remarks at the event, warned that if access to the facility is denied again, supporters of the group would forcibly gain an entry to use the stadium. Reacting to the allegations, the Rivers State government described them as false and misleading, explaining that the Yakubu Gowon Stadium is currently undergoing reconstruction and is unsafe for public use. Speaking to journalists after an inspection tour of the facility, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Communications, Ono Sirawo, said the allegation had no basis. Sirawo, who toured the stadium alongside the Commissioner for Sports, Christopher Green, under the guidance of the site engineer, said the level of ongoing reconstruction made it impossible for any group to use the facility at the time.
Let's go beyond politics. Let us be a brother's keeper. We cannot thrive, we cannot succeed under this kind of environment. besides politics is life. Let's manage our image. Let's manage our integrity. Let's manage what we do, and always put River State first. Because it is not enough to cast aspersion. It is not enough to say things. What is not too necessary is the outcome such intentions or such statements will generate. Our state is too important. We need to unite. We need to preach peace. We need to preach love. River State should grow above politics. So we advise that even if you don't want to see a man, look for an appropriate way to go about it, and not a way that we cannot substantiate. It is clear that whatever has been said cannot be substantiated based on what you have seen now. This place is under construction, and it's not good for anybody to come and say you want to do anything here.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Sports, who also served as the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the state, Christopher Green, said his office did not receive any football request for the use of the stadium. Green explained that even the Captain Lechi Amadi Polytechnic, where the inauguration eventually held, is still River State government-owned facility.
Not used here for anything. I have not received any application, and if anybody says I've received any application, let the person show me. Let me have the proof. Let's have the evidence that an application has been given and the application was rejected. No application has been given. No application was sent to me. No response was given. Nobody was rejected from using this place. And of course, ordinarily, we will want to apply to use this kind of place. It's not possible. And again, the kind of program you're talking about is a program that all of us are also interested in. And so if you want to use this place will not be able to contain the number of people that support Mr. President himself, from His Excellency the Governor. So that if you want to use any place, the best place for you to use is the Adokia Mesemaka Stadium, where everybody uses now. It is open for everybody. We are not the kind of ones that will stop people from using our facilities. And of course, if we stop you from using these facilities, why are we allowing you use the Polytechnic?
The site engineer Michael Ibitane, who led government officials on the inspection tour, said the stadium is currently in a delicate condition, warning that heavy human traffic could damage underground pipes beneath the pitch. He stressed that the contracting firm is committed to the safety of lives and property and would not permit the use of facilities undergoing renovation of any events, regardless of political affiliation.
We are at the mechanical aspect of the job, whereby it's unsafe for public usage at the moment, whereby my list of pipes buried here, my perforated pipes buried under my geotextile, are so vulnerable that heavy weight, if it comes on contact with it, is going to damage the entire hydrological network of this super tough FIFA standard pitch we're producing here for you guys. And behind me, you can see there are hazardous environments for non-safe activities. So if you're not properly coordinated, you might end up getting injured, sincerely speaking. So the area, the facility, as far as I'm concerned, it is not safe for public usage till after the construction of this facility.
The Oyo State Police Command has reported a significant operational breakthrough following the deadly armed attack on the old Oyo National Park, Oloka area, which claimed the lives of 5 forest rangers and park personnel. In a statement on Saturday, Olayinka Olayode, the spokesperson for the command, revealed that 7 suspects linked to the attack have been arrested. The apprehensions include the alleged mastermind and ringleader of the 10-member gang responsible for the brutal assault. The attack took place on January 6, 2026, around 9 p.m., when armed bandits reportedly arrived in large numbers on motorcycles equipped with sophisticated firearms. They stormed the National Park office, launched a coordinated attack on the rangers, and succeeded in freeing gang members who had been previously detained for criminal activities within the park and surrounding communities. Following the incident, Commissioner for Police Femi Haruna directed an immediate deployment of operational assets to the area and instructed the command monitoring unit to lead the investigation. This intelligence-driven operation resulted in the initial arrest of 3 suspects, Mohammed Dangi, Abubakar Abdullahi, and Shehu Usman. Subsequent investigations led to the capture of 4 more suspects from various hideouts across the country, including Toro Malami, Usman Umaru, Lalo Mohamadu, and Usman Issa. The suspects have reportedly confessed to their roles in the attack, providing detailed accounts of how the gang carried out the operation on multiple motorcycles with the primary goal of rescuing detained members. The confessions have yielded actionable intelligence that is helping authorities track down other fleeing members of the criminal syndicate. The Oyo State Police Command emphasized that the arrest marked a major step in curbing armed banditry and ensuring the safety of residents and forest personnel in the state. The command also thanked Governor Seyi Makinde for his support in strengthening the state security architecture and commended Inspector General of Police Kayode Gbetokun for his strategic guidance and operational assistance. Residents of the state were urged to remain calm and avoid spreading unverified information that could incite public panic or compromise ongoing security efforts. The command reaffirmed its commitment to safeguarding lives and property and warned that all fleeing members of the gang would be pursued and brought to justice. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has strengthened emergency healthcare services with the handover of 12 new ambulance buses to public hospitals in Abuja. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike presented the vehicles at the FCT Secretariat, describing them as part of a broader effort to improve healthcare delivery and emergency response. Correspondent Chimeze Nzadima reports.
At the FCTA Secretariat in Abuja on Thursday, the FCT administration officially handed over 12 new ambulance buses to public hospitals. The 12 ambulances are expected to improve response time and emergency medical access across the Federal Capital Territory. The Mandate Secretary of the FCT Health and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fasewe, said the initiative reflects a people-centered approach to healthcare beyond infrastructure alone. She noted that the administration has addressed long-standing welfare issues, including hazard allowances, wage awards, and medical residency training funds, some unpaid since 2021.
It is heartwarming that this administration has paid allowances that have been due, some even since 2021. I wish to particularly refer to the 13th month hazard allowance for healthcare workers and wage award, the medical residency training fund. I can confidently say that FCT is the only state that has paid all these allowances up to date. There have been many other interventions, including the upgrade of the School of Nursing to a full-fledged College of Nursing, making it the first College of Nursing also in this area of the country.
Dr. Fasawe and WHO Acting Emergency Manager Dr. Kumshida Yakubu described the intervention as a coordinated effort to strengthen healthcare delivery and boost staff morale across FCT health facilities.
This initiative goes beyond the provision of just ambulances. It reflects our commitment to people-centered governance, emergency preparedness, and improved health outcomes for all who reside in the FCT.
For us in the WHO, we are committed to supporting the FCT administration in achieving its health goals, particularly in emergency preparedness and response. WHO works closely with the Health Service and Environmental Secretariat and all partners in the FCT to build resilient health system, promoting universal health coverage and ensuring that everyone has access to essential health services. These ambulances will undoubtedly save lives and reduce mobility by providing timely transportation to health facilities. WHO applauds the FCT minister's efforts to strengthen its emergency medical services.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike linked effective emergency services to improved infrastructure, particularly road networks that enable ambulances to reach patients quickly. He disclosed that 14 health centers are currently undergoing rehabilitation alongside investments in education and other key sectors.
I did say before that every sector will be looked into. So many people were saying, why are we concentrating on road infrastructure? So many people were saying, why are we focusing on education? But people forget that these ambulances may break down when they are on good roads. When it is emergency period for you to convey patients, and the roads are not portable condition, then the whole essence of the emergency vehicles becomes useless. So first thing first, and that's what we have been able to do. As we speak here, we're already in procurement process of rehabilitating and furnishing 14 of our health centers.
With the ambulances now deployed, authorities say residents can expect faster emergency response and improved access to critical healthcare services across the FCT. In Abuja, Chimizi Zedima reporting for Signature TV News.
The Nigerian Customs Service Ogun Ewan Area Command Iduroko confirmed that an alleged smuggler was killed during a gunfight with suspected smugglers and a mob attack along the Alapoti bush path in Ado-Odo Ota local government area, Ogun State on Saturday. According to the public relations officer Zakari Chado, the incident occurred around 6 a.m. when officers intercepted motorcycles carrying smuggled rice. While withdrawing, the operatives were ambushed by a mob armed with dangongs, stones, bottles, and charms in an attempt to reclaim the goods. Chado said officers repelled the attack after a 30-minute confrontation, during which one assailant was injured and later died. The command linked the attack to its intensified anti-smuggling operations, which have recently led to major seizures of rice, narcotics, arms, and ammunition. The command also arrested a suspect who claimed ownership of 46 bags of foreign parboiled rice seized during the operation. Duty Controller Olakoyade Afeni, acting Customs Area Controller, condemned the assault as barbaric and reaffirmed that the command's enforcement activities would continue. He warned that all perpetrators would be brought to justice and assured the public of the command's commitment to safety and lawful enforcement under the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023. A youth entrepreneur and activist, Joshua Alade, says the failure of the government to adequately provide the welfare of Nigerians is a major factor driving young people to seek better opportunities abroad. Speaking on the morning show on Signature TV, Alade lamented that many citizens have lost confidence in government, stressing that Nigerians are now burdened with providing basic amenities such as electricity, water, and security, responsibilities that should ordinarily be handled by the state. He described it as disturbing that instead of empowering young people through job creation and skills development, security agencies often harass them for owning phones and laptops. Tools, he says, are critical for innovation and productivity in today's economy.
And you know that you are a victim of police violence, you don't want to stay back. I've seen and I've read stories online of people who have young people because they have an iPhone or they use a MacBook. They are being harassed by the police. You don't want to be harassed by the people who are supposed to be protecting you, and it can leave a lasting impression on your mental health. It's also the same thing in the place of work. If I work in a very toxic environment, it's going to impact my mental health. It's not just going when I move from that place and I go to another organization, the experiences I've had in the previous place will still play in my head, and it will require a lot of effort to make sure that I can fully be myself. So what is required is for the government to be able to fulfill the social contract. One social contract is creating jobs for young people.
Alade, however, urged young Nigerians to focus on acquiring relevant skills in information technology, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship to remain competitive in the global space. He also encouraged youths to understand and assert their rights, noting that this would help curb abuses by overzealous individuals and security operatives, while stressing the importance of proper life planning.
Most of the millionaires, people who are changing the world today, majority of them are entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship creates that opportunity to to employ more people. So I really encourage that every young person right now, one way or another, should learn a skill to be an entrepreneur. And for technical and vocational skills, there needs to be that emphasis on the world of work today. What are the skills that are required? How can young people be able to maintain excellence, and how can they communicate what they are doing, both to their customers and then the people around them? Technical and vocational skills are very important. People will never stop building houses, so we'll always need tilers, would always need painters, would always need electricians, and these people are well paid. In the UK, they are one of the highest paid people. In the US, they are one of the most highest paid people. So those technical and vocational skills are not just technical and vocational skills, they are life skills. And I encourage every young person and institutions around Nigeria to make sure that we create a very good structure for vocational and technical skills.
Still to come, Iran's supreme leader warns of regional war if US attacks. Deadly gun and bomb attacks hit Pakistan's Balochistan province. More details on our foreign news. Do stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Israel has partially reopened the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt after months of pressure from humanitarian groups, allowing limited movement of people but not goods. Israeli authorities say the reopening is a pilot phase coordinated with Egypt and the European Union, and only applies to civilians who receive prior Israeli security clearance. The crossing had remained largely shut since Israeli forces took control of the area in May 2024 during the war with Hamas. The move comes amid renewed violence despite a ceasefire, with Gaza's Civil Defense Agency reporting dozens killed in Israeli strikes on Saturday. Israel says the attacks were in response to violations of the truce. Gaza health officials say around 200 patients are waiting to leave the territory for urgent medical treatment, while Palestinian Authority officials have also arrived on the Egyptian side in preparation for administrative duties. Israel had earlier said Rafah would not reopen until the body of the last Israeli hostage held in Gaza was recovered. His remains were returned earlier this week, paving the way for the partial reopening. A wider reopening is expected soon, though no agreement has been reached on the number of people who will be allowed to cross. Rafah remains Gaza's only border crossing, not directly controlled by Israel, and is seen as a critical lifeline for the territory's 2.2 million residents. At least 48 people, including civilians and security personnel, have been killed in a wave of coordinated gun and bomb attacks across Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan province, officials say. The region's chief minister, Sarwariz Bhutto, confirmed that 31 civilians and 19 members of the security forces lost their lives, while security personnel killed at least 145 attackers during counter-operations. The Balochistan Liberation Army, BLA, claimed responsibility for the violence, saying it targeted security installations across the province. Multiple attacks were reported in more than a dozen towns and cities, including areas around the provincial capital, Quetta. Police stations, paramilitary bases, prisons, and government buildings were among the targets, as gunmen and attackers using grenades struck almost simultaneously. In response, authorities sealed off key administrative areas, suspended regional train services, and jammed mobile phone networks. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif later praised the military's response and pledged to continue the fight against terrorism until it is eradicated. The escalation marks one of the deadliest days of violence in Balochistan, a resource-rich but impoverished region that has endured a decades-long insurgency. Pakistan has again accused India of supporting the BLA, a claim New Delhi has constantly denied. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has warned that any military attack on Iran would trigger a wider regional war, as the United States continue to build up forces in the Middle East. Khamenei said the U.S. should know that a conflict will not be limited, following Washington's deployment of the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln to the region. U.S. Central Command says the carrier group is operating in the Arabian Sea. The warning comes as President Donald Trump said Iran was engaged in serious discussions aimed at reaching an acceptable outcome, while Iran's top security officials said a framework for talks was making progress. Tensions remain high over Iran's nuclear program and its violent crackdown on anti-government protests. Iran has dismissed U.S. military moves as intimidation, saying it will not be frightened by American show of force. Iran is also preparing to begin live-fire naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital global oil route through which about a fifth of the world's traded crude passes. Tehran has previously threatened to shut the strait if attacked. The U.S. has warned Iran against unsafe conduct near its forces, while Tehran has accused Washington of trying to dictate military activity in Iranian waters. Newly released documents from the United States Department of Justice suggest convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein made payments totaling $75,000 to bank accounts linked to Lord Mandelson. The records indicate 3 separate payments of $25,000 each made between 2003 and 2004, referencing Lord Mandelson, who was then the Labour MP for Hartlepool. These bank statements are part of millions of SPM-related documents released under a U.S. transparency law. Lord Mandelson said he has no record or recollection of receiving the money and questioned the authenticity of the documents. He reiterated his regret for ever knowing Espion and apologized unreservedly to the women and girls abused by the disgraced financier. The latest release also includes redacted photographs showing Lord Mandelson standing next to an unidentified woman. He said he could not place the location or circumstances in which the images were taken, stressing that being named or pictured in the files does not imply wrongdoing. The payments were first reported by the Financial Times, and it remains unclear whether the funds were ever received. Espion died in a New York jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has suggested that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor should be prepared to testify before the U.S. Congress over his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Sir Keir said anyone with relevant information should be willing to share it, adding that a victim-centered approach must put Epstein's victims first. His comments follow the release of millions of U.S. Justice Department files related to Epstein, including photographs that appear to show Mountbatten Windsor kneeling over an unidentified woman inside what looks like Epstein's New York mansion. BBC Verify says the decor in the images is consistent with the property. No context is provided for the photos, and there is no suggestion of criminal wrongdoing. U.S. Democrats previously asked Mountbatten Windsor to answer questions as part of a congressional investigation. At the time, Sir Keir said the decision was a personal matter for him. The latest document released also includes emails from 2010 suggesting Epstein invited Batten Windsor to meet a 26-year-old woman in London. The messages were exchanged 2 years after Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting a minor. The emails do not indicate any illegal activity. Mountbatten Windsor Formerly Prince Andrew has reportedly denied all wrongdoing and says he was unaware of Espien's criminal behavior. He was stripped of his royal titles last year amid growing scrutiny of his association with Espien. The BBC has approached him for comment. Marius Borg Horby will appear in Oslo District Court on Tuesday without the support of his closest family. The mother, Crown Prince Mette-Marit, and his stepfather, Crown Prince Haakon, will not attend what is one of the largest and most sensitive trials in Norway in recent years. The 29-year-old faces 38 charges, including 4 counts of rape, assault, and threats against a former girlfriend, criminal damage, drug offenses, and driving violations. If convicted, he could face a prison sentence of more than 10 years. The court has imposed a ban on photographing Høiby, but the 7-week trial is attracting intense international media attention. The Norwegian royal palace has stressed that Høiby is not a public figure and is not a member of the royal family, though he has long been regarded as close to it. Commentators say the case represents an unprecedented challenge for Norway's monarchy and its reputation. Høiby has admitted to some lesser offenses, including physical abuse and damaging property, but denies the most serious charges, particularly those relating to rape and sexual assault. Prosecutors say the alleged offenses span several years and involve women who were incapacitated, which under Norwegian law constitutes rape. Several women are expected to give evidence, including a former girlfriend whose identity has been made public after the court rejected an anonymity request. Her allegations of violence form part of the indictment and are strongly denied by the defense. Crown Prince Haakon has said the family will not attend the trial, but has expressed concern both for his stepson and for the women involved. King Harald and Queen Sonja will also be absent, while Crown Princess Mette-Marit is seriously ill with pulmonary fibrosis and is being prepared for a possible lung transplant. As the trial gets underway, it is expected to place sustained pressure on Norway's royal family, an institution traditionally known for its openness and close relationship with the public. And that's it on the foreign scene.
That's the news this hour. I am Christopher Lele. Thank you for watching.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
We come from a place of values, a place where hard work and discipline is taught early. We were taught that excellence is intentional so that we stand firm, build and do our work well. Rooted in the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people, our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build influence with intention. Our voices reflect who we are and carry our identity. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts.
This is who we are, rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life, and purposeful in every action we take.
It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible. And it is history taking shape from the dream team.
We can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC. This is bigger than one person.
This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
Wyatt is overrated, and they even overrated themselves, and when you go see it, they are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what it was CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change a narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens. One that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your
Good morning and welcome to Signature Morning on Signature TV. Welcome to the new month. We are in the month of February, the month of love. Today is the 2nd day of February 2026 and it's a new week, Monday. Quincy, good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We're so glad to have you. Welcome and a happy new month. It's the month of love. I'm looking forward to the 14th of February. And guess what? I'm happy it's Saturday.
Do you have plans? So you're looking forward
I guess we'll never know. Thank you for joining us this morning. And if you're just joining us, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Now, what is really trending, Uche?
Well, I mean, a lot of things have happened. First of all, following the closure of the Onitsha main market by the governor, we see that it's going to reopen today. But then the funny thing is that IPOB, have reacted, calling for this form of solidarity lockdown. Not just in Anambra State, but also in the whole of State. I don't know if you heard that.
I don't think so, because the streets of Enugu are really busy this morning.
I don't think people are taking it seriously anymore, because I mean, at this point,
why do we have to?
Constant state at home issues. Well, there's another one. It's quite a tragic incident. So there is this musician, Ifnaya, who died of snake bite.
That's really sad.
It's quite sad, because I mean, at this point, we're still having cases of people dying from snake bite. I mean, shouldn't have
a solution to that.
I mean, hospitals are supposed to have these things, but we're hearing different sides to the story. While some people say it's an act of negligence, they didn't have enough anti-venom for her. The hospital is also saying that it's not negligence, that they administered all the necessary medications, but
probably she could not survive the snake bite. Probably that. Of course, I was expecting to talk about the Grammy Awards that happened yesterday. We're really happy for all the winners, and we are seeing the streets of Instagram talking about the video and not winning.
I don't think any Nigerian nominated actually won.
Exactly.
It's quite sad, because we're all rooting for our stars.
We're all rooting.
Bring one Grammy home. Anyway, they are all winners regardless, and we love them and we enjoy their music, and we just continue to encourage them to keep doing what they do. Well, welcome to today's edition of Signature Morning. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluwa.
I am Quincy Roland. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll have our papers looked into. Good morning and welcome back. Looking at the papers this morning on Daily Trust, Tinubu abroad 22 days in 1 month.
All right, looks like that's the only major headline, because we see, apart from that, history impact as Governor Buni inaugurates world-class scientific research training center in Yobe.
Okay, then over to the Punch newspaper. Beside the mass, we have Ondo in fresh battle over oil-rich Boundary Island.
Now, boldly written, major headline, page 2, travels. Presidency spent 34 billion naira on forex in 2 years. Foreign trips, aircraft maintenance costs fall as FX purchases plunged 83% in 2025.
Coup, I was marked for arrest and assassination, and this is coming from the defense minister.
And beside that, DHQ faces heat as military personnel bypass airport checks.
Health workers strike grounds hospitals.
And if you look below, we see that Osun Assembly APC chairman clash over LG funds.
Makoko demolitions, Lagos Assembly to meet community leaders on Tuesday.
And finally, on the Punch newspaper, Owando records 3.2 trillion naira revenue amid oil production surge.
Looking at the Nation newspaper above the mass, how government policies reshaped forex and transactions.
Now, General Musa, how coup attempt was foiled at planning stage with Ryder doing a coup now is impossible. Nigerians would have resisted it.
Why Labour Party won't go into coalition, and this is coming from OT.
I will produce my successor in Oyo State, Makinde boasts on page 7, and below that on page 5, ISWAP second in command killed in massive attack.
Man nabbed for importing cocaine in soles of shoes.
Wow. And we see that 80 Kurmin Wali abductees escaped from kidnappers dead, with Rider bandits blow up police station, kill man, abduct people in Niger.
The Vanguard newspaper, above the mass, we have Girl Defections, Why Nigeria's Democracy is Not Working by Ibrahim Gambari.
On page 20, businesses buckle under debt as defaults push bad loans to 21.2 trillion naira. High interest rates, FX shocks, end of COVID forbearance, trigger spike in corporate loan failures.
Again, bandits storm Niger community, raise police station, church, abduct villagers. 80 Kaju worshippers escape as bandits hold 86 in captivity.
Now, the 2027 polls, fear of postponement looms over delayed electoral law.
Some will lead to youth participate in politics before it's late.
And if we look at the sports segment, 2030 World Cup, Super Eagles begin qualifiers June, CAF confirms date.
Osun Assembly vows to recover all diverted local government funds.
Now over to the Guardian newspaper, we see on page 6, Nigerians turn to survival businesses as formal jobs dry up.
Obi falls Tinubu on multiple foreign trips, 2027 agenda.
Tinubu's reforms save 27 states from collapse, says Minister.
House defense delay in page of Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
Now, Tinubu tells ECOWAS to reactivate standby force against Sahel threats.
Terrorists raid church and police station in Niger.
2027, Atiku holds talks with ADP leaders amid Obi Kwankwaso alliance rumor.
Investors and farmers lament as agri sector loses 5 trillion naira in 2 years.
And we see anxiety as Soludo reopens Onitsha markets.
Over to the Nigerian Tribune, above the mass, Osun Assembly vows to recover all diverted local government funds with a rider with state oversight, legislative power over local governments.
West African leaders meet in Ghana, agree on regional security framework, say region now global epicenter of terrorism, violent extremism.
Free meters, discourse defy ministers' directive focus on Band A customers.
Concern over huge cash outside banking system, despite surge in digital transactions.
Labour Party holds congresses in March. OT Usman urged Abure others to shed swords, seek reconciliation. Party wishes Obi well in AEC. Your victory is temporary, Abure camp replies.
All right, we see now that Makinde says, my team will continue where I stop in 2027 as Peter Obi Lord's governor for uplift of state.
Oyo National Park Office, police arrest 7 suspects.
Oil spill, Ijaw youth threatened to shut down oil facilities.
Oil discovery at Eba Ogun government reaffirms jurisdiction, cites legal and historical evidence. And that's all we have from our newspapers this morning. Over to Christian Maduka to talk to us about some of the things on the papers this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Uche. Good morning, Quinsley. And good morning, people of the world. Welcome to another day of Signature on Signature TV newspaper review. I am here, and we thank God for another day.
Okay, so on Daily Trust, Tinubu abroad 22 days in 1 month, and on another paper, we saw that Peter Obi has attacked him for being out of the country for that long.
Well, some people say that we have when the newspaper reported that our President Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban himself, GCFR, the Commander-in-Chief of Nigerian Armed Forces, that is now a visiting president, that he is on a state visit to Nigeria when he returned from Turkey. It sounded like, fun, and making fun out of serious issue. But the fact is that Nigerians are used to it. When it was the Buhari's turn, he was out of the country for 151 days, of no explanation. In Tinubu's era even, they can tell you where he is, if he's going to Turkey, if he's going to France, if he's traveling for meeting, there are itinerary of your president is known. But in the days gone, nobody will tell you where Buhari was. So when you find what the job of people who are not in the same party or rank with them, aside with the ruling party, they always point out what they feel is wrong. So it's not even an attack, it's constructive criticism. If something is happening in Nigeria and some people who are on the other side of the ruling party will now say, we suppose that the ruling party should have done it this way, we should see it as constructive. It's not an attack. If our president, but it's a mere fact that the president has been away for 1 month, 22 days. If you work in development organization, you work 5 days. And no matter in the month, the highest you can clock, if you are working in international organization where you work 5 days, it's 23 days, depending on how the month runs. The month that runs 31 days. So the government here, our president has when you remove 22 days in 1 month, if he is being paid by work as you, then he deserves to be paid even one week. He has only worked 1 week in Nigeria, and nobody will say it, with all sense of humility and objectivity. But he has a reason. This is a digital age, and as the president, at the point where he is, the view is clearer. So the presidency is just find a way of telling Nigerians to accept that the president, even while he's away, things are going, and that he's going out. All this moving around is for good, because it's not even easy on the head that wears the crown. So let's not look at it as if he's going for holidays. We saw him tripping in Turkey. These are pressures and so many things on his head. But I'm not going to say sorry, Mr. President, because when you want to go and befriend a woman who has broken waist, you know you are the person who will carry up and down. So he knows what the job is all about. And he has aimed to be there for a long time. So we only wish him luck. We only wish him luck.
Okay, now looking at this issue of the coup, the defense minister has come out to say that he was marked for arrest and assassination.
I read it has been another platform where somebody said that is a hazard of the job. If you are an army person, you are in security and everything, and even if you are an army, you want to go and organize coup. You know that if it fails, you are between life and death. In fact, you are between death more than life, because their own is court martial. And over time, I've not seen people who get involved in coup plot and they were, after the investigations are done, they find guilty and they left them. The result is always death. And when they are going there, you cannot. The Bible says you cannot even get the owner of the house, if he's a strong man, without binding him. So you can't call for coup and say, hey, we are afraid, we'll put you here. No, they are coming there to kill and take over. And that is the hazard of it. So when it fails, you pay with your life. Nobody is not that. That's why a lot of people think it's an old barbaric way that the issues of coup, hearing it should be thing of the past. We should move on in democracy, where people say we go to the field to campaign together. When I have more strong reason to be there, you are removed, the people who vote you out, without shedding of blood. So we wish the defense minister luck that this one failed. But you are there as defense minister knowing that there are two things. Whoever is going to harvest honey, we always expect that either the bee will sting you or you will sting the bee. So there are two things. But we thank God that he survived. There has been some. It sounds like he's a man with a cat with 9 lives, and we wish him well. But we believe in Holy Book that says the righteous. It's a affliction shall not come on the righteous double times. So we wish them well, but we also say let them plan well on that coup issue. We have heard of an actor, a Nollywood actor, who has been roped in, and some people tongues are wagging because sometimes we saw a visual video where somebody said, thank God the people of Southeast, nobody is involved in this coup. That if they were involved in this coup, evidently it was been turning into another. If it's not Southeast coup, it will be Igbo coup. Then suddenly overnight we heard that an Igbo Nollywood actor has been also been fingered into it, and been arrested, and they're doing the investigation. It's sub judice. We are not saying whether he is guilty or not guilty, but then the idea is let it be that justice, and very clean justice, is delivered.
All right. Well, there's a situation between Ogun and Ondo that they are actually in a fresh fight over a particular island that is rich in oil. It's an oil-rich boundary island.
We have boundary dispute committee or a body and agency in Nigeria. They have been there over time, and the map of Nigeria is clear. Is well delineated. People know their boundary. If they struck bomb there, I saw one joke. It said if the government found oil in their backyard, it's government property. But if government found cocaine and the drug under here, it's your own. So is it that over time Ogun and Osun do not know their boundary just because they suddenly found oil in one island? They have to actually settle it so that it won't be an issue of two monkeys who cannot settle over 2 bananas and the chimpanzee comes to settle for them. If the federal government comes to settle for them, it might actually become designated, that island might be designated as federal government property. So it either owned by Osun or Ogun State. The federal government owns Nigeria and it can decide where to acquire. So if you say, this is causing trouble, the federal government can justify that this is going to cause trouble, and they just take it to become a federal government island, and they can name it Tinubu Island over time, and it becomes federal government property, and then 2 of them will go home yawning. They will yawn and go home, and then they will lose what would have. What I believe is let my dog and my neighbor's dog fight, let mine bite to death, I will pay. And another one, somebody say again, another proverb is, if your neighbor, let my neighbor have property, let him be rich. Because if I did not chop that from that property, I will feel it by walking across. Because if my neighbor has he puts a light and water in the street and tar the street, if I drive across that in my neighborhood, I'm inheriting. So Osun and Osun and Ondo are brothers from right from time. Let oil, what God has joined together, let one small island with small oil, let it not divide them. That's the only thing I can say. But if they decide, we from our side, Southeast, can go and help them to settle, and we handle it on PPP, and they hand it over to us. We manage and share the money to them.
All right, now let's look at this issue of the electoral law. Now, looking at the 2027 polls, there is fear of postponement over delayed electoral law, and the House has come out to defend this delay in the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
The National Assembly is, whatever happens to Nigeria, right or wrong, they can never wish it away or say we are not part of it. So if they want, they say if you don't want fight to start, first of all, stop the push. If if the National Assembly of Nigeria really want Nigeria to have a very cool and quiet electoral process going forward, they should, as a matter of urgency, listen to the voice of reason and begin to deliberate on this electoral act, firm it up, and conclude on something, so that Nigerians will know and give them credit that they've done their own. If the politicians turn out around to, maneuver things and do what is not right, nobody will refer and say, National Assembly didn't do what they are supposed to do over time. So it is time for them now to write their name in the history, count their name on marbles, that during this 10th Assembly of National Assembly of Federal, they took time to frame up on Nigeria electoral system. If they don't, they will carry the stigma over time. And whatever the consequences will affect their extended and nuclear family and the extended and nuclear family, it will affect everybody, because one bad apple will always spoil the Lord. And of course, when the stone goes up, everything under will begin to catch fire. That's why we are talking about it. Let them now, let the National Assembly now reconvene, take charge, discuss about the electoral acts and firm it up. That's all I can tell you. If not, whatever happens to Nigeria will be on their head.
Okay, looking at security in which state? Niger community. We have bandits storming this particular community, and they go away with about 86 people, while 80 could escape this particular fresh attack in Niger.
Yeah, it's not actually Niger. I think it's Kajuri. The ones that we were talking about, 177, we say worshippers. Is it? Are we not mixing things? Okay, this is
bandits. This is a fresh one.
Yes. So, I was thinking it's even Kajuri, but this is Niger. Now, this is serious. And then it means that the bandits are still there. Mm-hmm. My father said when lion did not see what to swoop on and eat, they will say there's no lion. Now, what we have noticed over time, there is some drop in the news about bandits storming, and since after Kajuru. Now we have had again in Niger with all alacrity. Imagine 80 plus 86, and then 80 escaped, 86 were taken away in Niger. When we are talking about that the chicken, pecked on the food, the chicken carries its 2 legs into this plate of jollof rice. That is double wahala for that body. We can't stop talking about it. Nobody who is a right-thinking person will want his or her, even your enemy, to be abducted by bandits. Because we have seen the experience of the ones who are abducted. Because it's matter of life and death. You abducted wife, children, mothers, husbands. Just name it, you abduct the whole community from their homes and taking them into the bush under that kind of animal kind of condition. Who would like to be doing that? And it has happened in Nigeria over time, and we only read about it in the newspaper headlines. We believe that our securities are doing something. We only say, Nigerian security apparatus, do more for us, do more, because we cannot watch our Nigeria going into extinction by the acts of banditry and terrorism and whatever you call it. It's satanic, and any right-thinking person will stand and condemn it. But whoever is perpetrating it, even if it's my father, it is wrong. And I stand on it all the days of my life. God will help us.
All right, now on the Guardian newspaper, we see this headline: Nigerians turn to survival businesses as formal jobs dry up.
You're even lucky in Nigeria if you find informal jobs when the formal ones have failed. It is, I don't know how to describe it. There's nothing Nigerians don't do. There's nothing Nigerians, even to pick trash. We find out that the Chinese have entered Nigeria and they turn Nigerian trash. You don't find trash in Nigerian streets. What you find is a label, not trash, because there's what you call Those was manure. That's what you find again, and those ones that even Nigerian agriculture have not find out to use that. But anything that is like waste, that is solid waste, anything that whether degradable or not, that's what Nigerians speak now. They live on what they call it. You wake up in the morning, you say condemn, iron condemn, iron condemn. They are Nigerians. You go to those bins, official sites where people waste at the bins, you see women, men, children line up there. You bring a bag of those bins to go, they will rush and scatter to just what are they looking for? Plastics to sell. That's at that level. Then you find some who are teachers. They're going to work, they carry big bags, you think what is inside is like okrika, fruits. When they teach children, ABCD for why your children will shout ABC, they enter the market for survival. You find what people who used to have one Tokubo cars when they come back midday, even if they're civil servant, they close the office, you go to the office, don't find them. They've gone for kabu business. Okay? The Nigerian economy is hard on the working class. Only politicians are comfortable. Only them, political appointees, are just like the from being a ward councillor in the local government to chairman of. Go to the state, everywhere they have anything state attached to government. Those are the ones who enjoy Nigeria now. And we say, is this leg that Nama could take reach home? And very soon, all of them, is you why government do this? The same people that chop from government plate are the ones who will do campaign. They are the ones who will pay young people. Somewhere, what's the name? Governor of Lagos State is calling the youth to come into politics before it be too late. Come into politics as what talks? Of course, those are the ones, the allies, they use them. Youth have been part of politics, but at what level? So what are you calling them? They know. But you call them to put them at a point where they serve you, they have not been given any. But which youth in Nigeria has a position? Which anybody that is less than or 30 years that is in Nigeria? They are all 60, 50 and they're still answering youth. Tell us, oh boy, wahala dey. That's all I know. And Nigeria need to sort our things out. West African leaders meeting can agree on regional framework. This is what they would have done over time. So many things that we didn't touch about, but we thank God we have been able to do so.
Yes.
All right.
Uche, you said Nigeria will another thing. We pray God that at least it's eliminated to a great extent. So thank you for having been with us. God bless you. God bless the angels here. God bless Signature TV. God bless me. God bless everyone. But remember, God's blessings are meant for those who deserve to be blessed.
God bless you too. Thank you for joining us this morning. Chris, we'll go on a short break and we'll be back.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
We are local.
The international community is observing
the bread the main market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching Signature Morning. Now, for several years, we've seen that the sit-at-home orders in the Southeast has become a tool of protest or a form of protest, often linked to IPOB and its leader. So this morning, we're going to discuss the sit-at-home and looking at it from the IPOB standpoint. Now, we have on the phone with us this morning Barrister Maxwell Opara. He is a legal practitioner and is also a part of Nnamdi Kanu's legal team here this morning to give us more insights and perspective into this sit-at-home issue. You're welcome to Signature Morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure to be here once again.
Now we see that these repeated sit-at-home orders have always been linked to Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. But IPOB, on the other hand, has consistently, denied issuing these enforcement directive. So what exactly is the standpoint of IPOB in all of this?
Well, I want to start by saying that I'm not a member of IPOB. Rather, I'm a lawyer representing Mazen Nandekalo and IPOB in court. And I cannot also claim that I'm not aware of what is going on. Just like I continue to say every time, all these things are all this going front and back are uncalled for. It doesn't call for it. These things are something that is avoidable. It shows somebody's incapacity to manage issues. In the first instance, some persons you have a place where some persons are sitting at home, either as a result of their own volition, either because of what they believe in, they are sitting at home. And as a leader, you felt that this particular thing is affecting the economy of the country. How do you go about it? How do you go about it? The beginning, and having known that whether you like it or not, that is the painful truth. All the so-called leaders don't want to hear. Mazen Nandekalo, as it stands today, is the leaders of the Igbos. By omission or commission, that is the position. If you want to know whether Mazen Nandekalo is the leader of the Igbos, the day you release Mazen Nandekalo, that's when you understand. And as if I have said it. As if I said, if you should ask Mazen Nandekalo is the leader of the Igbos, I'm from Ekulobia. If I come out in Ekulobia now, you cannot see up to 100 persons coming to see me. But if Mazen Nandekalo leave Afaruku Mwaya and come to Ekulobia, Ekulobia will be shut down. Ekulobia, my own area will be shut down. Now, who is the leader?
Of course, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So the area we address it, the better for us. Now Nandekalo has been convicted and sentenced and sent to Sokoto, where he is serving his jail time pending his appeal. Now, as a governor, you want to address this issue. If you are reasonable as a professor you are, what are you expected to do? You should have just, first of all, pay Mazen Nandekalo course visit to Sokoto. You have stayed in course visit in DSSS. I'm talking about Professor Soludo. You pay in course visit in Sokoto. When you pay in course visit in Sokoto, you have a discussion with him. You now let him know, please, my dear brother, this year, this thing, look at what we are doing. We have been, I personally have met Mr. President, and my own co-governor has also met. We are also strategizing on how to meet our president. We believe that we shall overcome these challenges. You encourage him. Now, having said that, you said, but the another thing there is that it is not be good, probably when you come out, it happens that the economy of your region is already down. How do we address this issue of sit at home? How do you address this issue of sit at home? Then you people will discuss. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you discuss, if you come out, you will have that press interview. I met Mazen Nandekalo, we discuss on this issue. And we want to give a way for peaceful resolution. I have seen him and we have discussed a lot of things which I will not let you know. Then you now have a meeting with the traders union. I'm talking about somebody who calls himself a leader. You go and listen with the traders union. The traders will be the people to tell you the challenges they are having. Whether some people are coerced into it, whether there are some people that are doing it, because I want to tell you, 80% of those sit at home are people who are doing it on their own. Everybody has his own way of giving solidarity to Mazen Nandekalo in this particular matter. My wife, Pastor Barrister Mrs. Nina Maxwell Opera, has her own of doing it. Every Friday she will normally fast and pray for Mazen Nandekalo. That is the way of doing it, her own. Her husband, who is Maxwell Opera, talking to you, my own is to make sure that I represent Mazen Nandekalo, giving him free legal service. discuss, and I believe in what he's doing. I'm not saying that he's a saint. I'm not saying that there's no place that he has done one or two mistakes, but I'm convinced in what is, because Igbos are being unfairly treated. Igbos are being marginalized. Igbos are being treated like slave in this country. And either they carry Igbos along or they allow the Igbos to be on their own. I believe in that. I'm not missing words. I believe in that. I support him in that. That one is my own personal opinion, which is not binding on you, the anchor person. You have your own personal opinion. Now, you ask them, discuss with the traders, not only the traders union, you discuss the Kekenapep, you discuss with the banks, you discuss with other people, stakeholders, with the e-base. They will tell you the best way to do it. You said, okay, let us start. Let that market be open. Then you also look at some other persons, like you have seen Mazina Nekano. You also reach out to other persons, especially those of them in diaspora. You can travel. Last year I traveled. I went to up to 5 countries. I met them. And I discovered that this trouble is even beyond Mazina Nekano self. It's beyond Mazina Nekano. Don't let Mazina Nekano is the figurehead. There are many people. And if you go to Paris, you see IPOB is registered there, roughly registered. If you go to Spain, you see them there. You go to Germany, you see them there. They have their meeting, which government is aware. If you go to America, 18 countries of the world where IPOB is registered. So you need to cool down. When you talk to all these people, the thing will relax naturally. They will so listen with you, and they will not see. But the issue, you just wake up one Monday, you visited the market, you say that you lock it up. Who are you? Are you a military dictator? Are you a military dictator? You do not even check this market I'm locking up now for 1 week. Is there perishable goods there? Is there where some people put something that they normally put off every 24 hours? Did you check all those things? Why should you be acting like I don't know the adjective to use to qualify you? And you are using, you demolish the market, you will do this for how many years? You have been re-elected. In the next 4 years, you will leave that office. What will you be remembered for? What will you be remembered for? This is exactly what Malami was doing. This is exactly what MFL we are doing. This is exactly what all of them are doing. Where we are there today. You don't do things in that manner, and everybody should condemn it. Okay, now, you say that it will be by force. By force for who? You are going to force me to open my shop? Is my market the only market in Anambra? What of all those ones on the street? What of all those ones in some areas? Are you going to force them? Okay, when you open on HMM market, what of the people that will come to patronize them? One thing is to open market, another thing is for you to sell. If you open a shop and nobody come to buy, what will you? Did you open shop? I've never seen this kind of arrogance and autocratic governance.
All right then, Barrister, looking at the situation in the Southeast, are the Southeast governors and political leaders really doing enough to protect its citizen as to the sitters?
Point of correction, they are not doing anything to protect their citizen. They are doing everything to make sure that they amass wealth and allocation given to the people of the Southeast for their own personal gain. They loot it. Let them come and challenge me. Then they should now give me allocation they have collected and what they have done with it. Let's start from there. I'm a lawyer, I know what I'm saying. They loot the money given to them to build the Southeast. So they're not doing enough. So we can go ahead.
All right, Barrister Para. Now, moving on, you've earlier mentioned that everyone, has their own way of showing solidarity to Nnamdi Kanu apart from sitting at home. And you've mentioned that this sit at home is also some individuals' way of showing solidarity. But we also see that most of these sit at home orders are also followed with issues of violence. And so, do you acknowledge that some armed groups or some groups claiming to act in Biafra's name may be exploiting this movement or even causing more harm than good at this point?
That is the people of Southeast for you. That's an Igbo man for you. You cannot see it. Even Boko Haram, that everybody in the whole world know that they are terrorists, real terrorists killing people. Are you not seeing Hausas? Hausa Fulani people telling you that you should go and negotiate with them. Have they not been negotiating with them? Have they not been negotiating with them? But in the southeast, that's an Igbo man for you. They will only be telling you Mazin Nandekalo is arrogant, Mazin Nandekalo talks any they will only pull their own down. Nobody. It's only few reasonable. The real Igbo people. Remember that some persons came to Igbo and impregnated some persons and they have children for us. Then they were answering Emeka, they were answering Chukwudi. That does not mean that they are Igbos. They are real Igbo with Igbo blood. No Igbo with Igbo blood will condemn what Mazin Nandekalo is doing. Yes, of course, he may have one or two shortcomings as a human being in the way he carried it. But you cannot remove it from him that since we started the Igbo, this is the only person that said, with AK-47 in my head, with all the whole Kuduloi in Nigeria, I will never stop fighting for my people. Either you give my people what they want or let my casket lowered in the grave. He told me this thing in person. I have attended meeting where they made the offer to him. Thank God that Malami is alive. Where they made the offer during Buhari's regime. He said, no, if you want me to stop the agitation, you know those things that gave rise to this agitation, go and arrest them. Address them. Carry the Igbos along. As you are doing others, then let us not feel like we are slaves. If you address all those issues, and we know that, yes, we have sense of belonging, that's okay. But the short of that, either you carry that from you or you allow us to be on our own. That is Mazin Nandekalo for you. And if there is any Igbo, the Hausa and the other tribe have respect for, is Mazin Nandekalo, because we have not gotten it before, like this before. Even in Sokoto, I was with him 3 days ago. Even in Sokoto, that place is suffering now. He still believes the struggle. I give it to him. So the point I'm making is that when you said some people hijack it, yes, we have done demonstration. I participated in a peaceful demonstration with ASU here. Federal government went to go and give other people arms and ammunition to go and start causing trouble, so that they will now say that it is those people that are doing this. I participated in NSAS protest. Very peaceful. I participated in Abuja here. We have sanitation group. We have a road traffic group. We are doing it. But what did the federal government did? They went to recruit some hoodlums, gave them ammunition, and they start burning police station, killing people. And they said that is so as to clamp the thing down. When we started end bad governance protest here, we saw them. So if you are telling me that some people, federal government give arms and ammunition to be committing a crime in the southeast, and immediately they watch how they operate. What you see how stupid they are, how foolish they are. Immediately crime is being committed in Imo State now, in Anambra State, in Ebonyi, in Abia, in Enugu, in any part of the southeast. Immediately crime is committed. They kill people. In the next 15 minutes of that crime, you will see a press conference, a press statement. Members of IPOB. I see how stupid these people are. Now you ask yourself, a crime that was committed in Ihimebano, Commissioner of Police in Owerri has not even visited the scene of the crime. He will just direct the State Force Police PRO to issue the threat. They committed by members of ESN, members of IPOB. You ask yourself, when was the investigation conducted? What was the investigation? I got what I'm saying. If you don't do the trial of Mazin Nandekalo, I laugh. They brought a video of Gulag that members of IPOB was the people that killed Gulag. We asked the DSSS guy who this question. How many persons were you arrested? He said they did not arrest anybody. How do you know that it is members of IPOB? He said that was what I was told. I'm talking about it. It happened though. And the judge used that testimony to convict Mazin Nandekalo. Even where the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, said no, this killing is political. The chief security officer, he said, but for them to kill, do you know who is IPOB? Do you know members of IPOB? Do you know how many professors that were there? Do you know how many reverend fathers that were there? Do you know how many pastors that were there? Do you know how many captains of the industry that are there? Do you know how many engineers? Do you know how many lawyers? Do you know how many responsible people that have seen it all who are members of IPOB? and you feel that these people will participate in a crime, go and see. I participated in their meeting in Paris. I visited them when they were having meeting in Spain. I was there in Vienna when they were having meeting. You see them well organized. Government officials were there because it's registered in all these places. So the point I'm making is that you are doing protest in ENUGU. Okay, you see the one that is happening in FCT, because I'm representing FCT workers. Do you know that government, I think that was on Friday, went to go and pay some people money to go and protest in favor of Wike, that Wike is the best in the whole world, blah, 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 blah. And the payment was that for thinking that the workers will carry out their own protest, so that they will jump. But the workers now left. When they got the information, they left and moved to the labor house. And those people, after making fool of themselves, video. So, hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
So one call came in. So the point I'm trying to make is that they know that IPOB are not a terrorist organization. They know that Mazen Al-Khali is not a terrorist. They know what happened. When IPOB came up, they know what IPOB is agitating. They have the agenda. They know what IPOB stands for. But in order for them to declare IPOB a terrorist organization and trample people down and use that opportunity to kill innocent persons, they decided to call. If you want, of course, you know what is happening in the southeast. If you want to wicked anybody now, just write the petition against the person that is a member of IPOB or a member of ESN. That will be the end of the person. Go to the SS office now. Go and see innocent persons, people who don't have anybody to speak for them. How they pack all of them there.
All right then. So
and you're telling me, and you're telling me that the so-called governors are doing everything. Forget about all those characters.
We understand that. Thank you so much. All right then. So looking at the situation right now with IPOB and the idea that the people have and how they have misinformation about the sole purpose of IPOB, what is the future of the indigenous people of Biafra?
Well, you can only beat a child, but you will not ask a child not to cry. Of course, what Nnamdi is passing through today, Mahdi passed through it, Mandela passed through it. I can tell you a lot of people, Churchill and all of them, they passed through it. That's the price you pay as a freedom fighter. And we are not deterred. The people that are going to do sit at home, you cannot use it by force. Okay, if you stop sit at home in Onitsha, and they sit at home in Owerri, and they sit at home in Aba, have you achieved? Is it not the people that are in Calabar that will pass through Aba, pass through Umuahia, and come to probably to Anambra to come and buy something? If it's not people that will come from ENUGU to come and buy something, it's main market. Main market Onitsha is one of the biggest markets we have in West Africa, if not in Africa. We are people from all walks of life. So when they open, if you open on Monday and you discover that when I open on Monday, I will burn my recharge card, I will burn my distance, wasted my time, and nothing is going to happen. Why should I go? Why should I disturb myself, wasting my distance coming to that place? Do you get what I'm saying? It is all about dialogue. It is all about dialogue. It's all about discussing with people. Igbos are reasonable people. Igbos, you can you can tell anybody in the north, say go Rakadede, give them rice, give them this thing. You go keep not an Igbo. You must convince an Igbo person. God bless an Igbo man with natural intelligence. So you don't do it by force. When you convince him, you don't know why. Do you know why they're following Mazen Nnamdi? I said, those people following Mazen Nnamdi. If you meet Mazen Nnamdi, you will listen. Mazi is intelligent. When I mean intelligent, I mean intelligent. Mazi is sound. Mazi is honest. He's vocal. He knows something as one for only one mile. He knows something as somebody that is well groomed. And you get what I'm saying? He is also intelligent, academically sound. All these things that you see that is quoting in court, all those laws, it's only few this period though. I can say from May last year, that's when we begin to give him all these things. Mazina can fight Administration of Criminal Justice Act from the section 1 to the last section. 24 pages. Mazi can fight Constitution of Nigeria. Mazi can fight Evidence Act. Mazi can fight. I know what I'm telling you. Most of the times I ask myself, how are you doing this thing? Say, Max, go to section 3. He was fighting more than a lawyer. That guy, I don't know the place he came from. That's why Omotosho was able to committed him. Because Omotosho, he was telling Omotosho, show me the law, because he has the law himself. Mazi can cite, he has a lot of Supreme Court cases. He will cite, telling you the decision, the racial incident, the thing that gave rise to that. So this are the envy they have for that young man. God sent him, and I give it to him. So the point I'm making is that you cannot do it by force. Try to know the root of this. There are some people, my dear sister, do you know that somebody called me? Max, I said yes. Please, is there any area you people can make an application whether somebody can serve the jail time for Mazina and the can? I have never seen this kind of thing in my life. Somebody said, I am ready to go and serve the jail time for him. Can you people bring an application, let court to do it? I said, no. It doesn't work. I was telling my wife, I said, look at people. I'm talking about true love, organic. I think I'm saying, so you cannot stop it by force. Okay, now you have said that there was open market today. Now Emma Powerful has issued his own statement. There is now for and against. What there is for and against, my sister, what are you expected to do? As a person, I'm talking about you now. You're supposed to be careful. Your wife will ask you not to move out. Your husband will ask you not to move out. Your children will ask you not to move out. Your parents will ask you not to move out. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying. Because everybody is afraid of unknown. It's just like where you said, I'm going to do protest, and you said, if anybody come out of this protest, Allah will shoot that person. You know, that for me not to be shot, because you may take me that I'm a protester. I better stay in my house. By that time, the government, you have done the protest yourself. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
Of course, we get you, Barrister, but now
let's see what will happen in the Southeast today. All right. You see that people out of fear will stay in their house. By that time, the sit at home has achieved, and you call yourself a leader.
All right, now moving away from that, from what is happening in Anambra State, you've also mentioned about people who love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu so much that they are willing to serve his jail time, and that brings me to ask, now earlier on during the IPOB protest, there were a group of people, a list of people who were arrested in Abuja during the protest. Now I'd like to know how credible is that information, and what are the moves being made for those people to be released?
They have been released. All the people that were arrested. I think when you're talking about the protest of release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's protest organized by Show Orishe.
Of course.
I released all of them. I went to court and filed a bill application. And the courts where they were arraigned, including Show Orishe themselves, they were released and they adjourned for trial. We were there in court before Christmas, and court adjourned till March or April. I don't have my diary. So they have none of them is in the prison now.
All right. Now, apart from that, you've expressed your displeasure with how the issue in Anambra State was handled, but also we see that this sit-at-home has caused a lot of losses, particularly when it comes to school closure. Schools have closed. We see disruption of healthcare services. A lot of people also complain that they've lost a lot of things, income, loved ones, due to this sit-at-home issue. So, do you think that at some point this sit-at-home has caused some form of economic suffering, and also just even violating citizens' rights at some point, and just other negative offshoots of this sit-at-home issue?
The people that cause sit-at-home are government. Government are the people that, both government in a center and government in a region and in the state. The people that cause loss of life and the violation of rights are government. The people that cause loss of economic gain and what have you are caused by government. Ask me why. Why? In the sense that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started this agitation, and he listed his agenda. Why the agitation? Which is his fundamental right. His fundamental right to agitate. That is why we are asking that. My father used to say, passing sense is not passing sense. You can be a professor academically, but you lack common sense. Because one, if you know that this person is exercising his right under the Constitution, under the various international treaties and protocols and covenants and what have the declarations we have, exercising his right of self-determination. Now he started carrying flag, recruiting people. People are following him with his agenda, having a radio communication. In fact, Mazina Nkano was even doing that radio this and that time because of we have not gotten it like social media now. If we have it like social media now, you don't need radio. Who is listening to radio? Who cares? Who is listening to radio? You go to social media, be posting whatever thing. That is where people are now. Now he was doing this thing. What you should do is this: you allow him with whatever thing that he's doing. How do you rubbish him? You rubbish him by going with good governance. Make sure that the industries are being built. Make sure that if you are giving appointment, you carry everybody along. Make sure that the roads are being built. Make sure that the money for public is being used by public use. Is being utilized for the public, just like P2B used to say. Make sure that tests are moving. Make sure that you will say that the thing will just die natural death. It will just die. Who made it not popular? It's government that made it not popular. Of course, you know. Now, when you begin to address all those issues, you begin to, the thing will just die naturally. So now, what is your problem now? We are talking about life. There is light now. We are talking about bad rules. Look at their building rules. And they have even built some. They have commissioned some. Employment is going. And government is doing. Look at local government is functioning. We have everything is moving. What is the problem?
Apologies, barrister. Apologies. We'll have to continue this conversation another day because you have a whole lot to say and it needs to be said.
Okay. Let me go straight to the point. Straight to the point.
All right.
Now, they did not do all those things they're supposed to do. Rather, they started attacking Mazin Namdekano and attacking his agenda. The people that said, no, you cannot do this thing. That is where he has all these people that he have. Now that you are talking about sit at home. This sit at home, remember that this sit at home started when Namdekano was arrested by unlawfully kidnapped from Kenya and brought back to Nigeria here. That's when the thing started. They started issuing. Remember at that time, someone never came up with his own because nobody's controlling anything again. Another group will come up with their own, powerful on his own. Edosium is on his own. They now divided.
Barrister Maxwell, we'll have to cut this conversation short at this point. We're so sorry. I remember that you asked me why this sit at home. I'm not telling you that the sit at home is caused by government. I'm not giving you the reason why it's the government that caused the sit at home. Why government allow people to be issuing this and people are obeying. So how they cause this thing, they should also resolve it by releasing Mazin Namdekano unconditionally. When they release Mazin Namdekano, if Mazin Namdekano comes out today and come out to say there is no sit at home, everything will just end. Of course, Barrister Maxwell. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll have to continue this conversation another day.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Barrister Maxwell.
You have gotten the message. You have gotten the message.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Of course, the conversation is on the sit at home in the Southeast and, the IPOB, the standpoint and everything within. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll go on a short break and we'll be back.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health,
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
of Onitsha Main Market by Governor Chukwuma Soludo has, of course, sparked public debate as to whether it is right or whether it is wrong. And today, making it 1 week, the market, is to open and to start their business fully after 1 week of closure. And so this morning, we're looking at the matters arising from this directive by the governor. And we have joining us via Zoom this morning His Royal Highness Igwe Chukwuemeka Iluno, who is the traditional ruler of Ifite Dunu, Anambra State. You're welcome to Signature Morning. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. All right, it seems that we're yet to connect with our guest this morning. Well, Quincy, all right, he's back. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you much. God bless you. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Right. Now, from your point of view, how do you assess this incident of closing down a major market, a major commercial hub like Onitsha Main Market? What is your view and what is your standpoint on this issue?
We all thank God that the market is open for business today. One thing I always say is never draw or reach a conclusion on a matter you are not well informed on. Listen to both sides of the divide. I am happy that after the closure of the market people went to discuss with the governor. And I am also happy and I appreciate the fact that it was made public that while they were discussing with the governor and when the governor told them his plans, that they clapped massively for him. Yes. The governor said that for years, he has been dialoguing with the market people, begging them, open this market, it's affecting people's life. It's affecting the economy of the state and affecting people's life. That one day signifies insecurity. And any investor outside this state will be worried. Any investor that wants to come to this town will say, these people that is very insecure. We cannot go there. Is Anambra insecure? The answer is no. People are making it look like it's insecure. Why are people shouting? Why are people threatening to kill one another? When you remove somebody's life, have you helped the person? When you threaten somebody, if you don't do anything my way, I will kill you. Is it the best thing? I fought in the Nigeria-Biafra war. I volunteered to serve as a Biafran soldier, and I fought all through. The popular Bagna sector, I participated in it. And I'm here telling somebody, look, let us look at this thing from another angle. And you say, no, you must shut down the economy of the state. Who told you that by doing that, you will be progressing? By the way, I asked this young man, is Onitsha market, is Onitsha the capital of Biafra? Why are they insisting on Onitsha? The governor of a state who is not a pure politician tells you, I've researched, I have seen a place, I've seen that this place is not helping you or helping any person. And somebody from nowhere stays in the bush or wherever they are hiding to tell you, don't go to market. We are fighting for somebody. The person that you are fighting for says, please allow these people to do their business. That is not what I want. And you insist that it must happen. And you say you are fighting for him. Are you fighting for him? The person you are threatening that he shot the market has gone to Sokoto. He has gone to see this young man in EFCC detention camp. He has done a lot of things to show you that he is with you in whatever side to ensure that this young man is out. And you say by punishing people that is the only way you will show your strength. You will show that you are right. I think it is wrong. The governor has come out to say, look, What I'm doing is for your benefit. Open this market. Let us dialogue. Let us see how we can help you. And when he now told them his plan, they clapped for him. Why? Because this is an educated somebody who believes in research and development. And he has researched. If you will remember, you can recall that to be his time, he used to say that no sane man lives in Onitsha. And indeed, if you go to Onitsha, I remember my experience from 10, 11 years ago. I brought my American friends and wanted to show off Onitsha market and took them to Onitsha market. I tell you that by the time we left Onitsha, they warned me never to take them to touch a place. It was chaotic. It was riotous. It was something that no sane person would like to experience. And here, governor says, I want to remodel it. I want to get Onitsha market was built when I was in secondary school. We used to visit it. We used to enjoy it. If you go there now, it is like, I don't know how to describe it. And governor is planning to put it right, to correct it. And you are shouting that you are going to kill people. Why don't you kill yourself? Why don't you go to that place? What stops you from trading there? We all should remember that when somebody is sitting on the throne, you must respect that person. If you feel that what he's doing is not right, you go and dialogue with him. No one person knows it all. We are all amenable to learning. We are all disposed to learning new things. If you think he has taken a decision that is wrong, don't threaten the war. That threat you are putting out is destroying the economy of Southeast. That threat alone, you have not executed it, but you have threatened you are going to kill, you are going to maim. The whole world will run away from you. And they will go somewhere else. And you'll be happy you have achieved something. You have achieved nothing. I am begging my friends and children to come out. Let us talk. Let us plan the best way to grow without hurting the economy of the Southeast, without hurting the people of Southeast. Because by each person you kill, you have eliminated that person, and the person will not be there for you tomorrow when you achieve your Biafra. So I think it is wrong to be threatening somebody. I think what the governor has done, he has researched and he has seen it is good for the people. If for 3 years plus, he has been begging, he has been trying to dialogue with you, and you are saying, oh no, I will not do it, that it is because of somebody. And he goes to that somebody to discuss with that person, and that person says, my hand no day there. Children, please leave that thing you are doing. Let us do the right thing. And you are still threatening. Are you now doing it for yourself or for that person? So I think having been a leader myself and still leading as a treasurer ruler, that we should always try to dialogue. We should always try to reason together. We should always give respect to whoever is in authority. Even the Holy Book tells us that. We should desist from threatening any person. We should desist from shedding blood. When you shed blood, is that how you are going to rule Biafra? Is that how you are going to grow Biafra? That if somebody doesn't follow your line, you kill the person? Then it's not Biafra. It's not the kind of Biafra I fought for. No, it isn't. I fought for a Biafra that every person will be free, there will be justice, there will be equity, and there will be freedom. Not threat, not killing, not maiming. Closing the market has now made people realize that the governor means well for them. And they have told his line of thought. They didn't come back there dissatisfied. They came out from there happy that this man means well for us.
Just to add to what you've been saying, if the governor had not put out this strict rule of closing down the market for 7 days, just so people would know that he's serious, do you think the people would have, like agreed to do whatever he had said about the Monday sit-at? So would people have actually come out in their numbers back to the market, suspending the sit-at-home culture?
Those you saw on the street are not those that dialogue. It is now a question of communication. The governor says for 3 years plus, I have been discussing with people, I have been dialoguing with. Remember, he said that this master plan was produced 3 years ago, 2023. So he has shown them before, he has taught them before. The people you see on the street, the boys, the arboros, the crop pushers, never go to the governor. And the people leading them have not been telling them the truth. So the governor has been doing his bit. It is a problem of communication. And thank God, today, every person knows the fact. The only thing is that I insist is that if I were in his position, I would have not gone public. I would have not gone to the market to announce it. I would have called the leaders of the market and told them, look, since we cannot reach an agreement, I think it's time for me to start developing. Go and tell your people that we want to reclaim the market. Then this tension.
Right. This closure of the market, we see that IPOB has also come out, to declare some form of solidarity and also call for sit at home this time around across the southeast states. And it seems that it is because of this directive from the governor of Anambra State. So do you think that this move by the governor has further reawakened the whole IPOB move for the sit at home instead of weakening that policy or that sit at home movement? Can you hear me? All right, I asked about, how this has escalated this IPOB sit-at-home directive in the Southeast, because following the closure of the market, we see that IPOB has come out again to declare solidarity for sit-at-home across the states in the Southeast. So I'm asking, do you think that this has further reawakened the move for the sit-at-home in the Southeast instead of weakening it?
Hello. The network has not been favorable, has been fluctuating. But if I may continue, I say two wrongs do not make a right. If you feel the governor made a mistake, you seek for audience and discuss with him. There will be no tension. But if you challenge the person that is supposed to be keeping the society sane, yeah, go on. Yes?
All right, if you can hear me, I'll take the question again.
Hello?
Now, following the directive of the governor
of
Anambra State for shutting down the markets due to the sit-at-home, do you think that this has further aggravated or escalated this IPOB solidarity or the move for the sit-at-home instead of dousing it or instead of weakening it? Because we see that it is up again. IPOB has declared widespread sit-at-home in the Southeast, as a result of this. So I'm asking, do you think it has further escalated this issue instead of solving the problem?
Been doing the same thing over the years. This is not an isolated thing. They have been trying to make governance unbearable, on making the Southeast ungovernable. You don't create a state of anarchy in a place you love. You assist those in power to grow. You don't challenge them openly. You don't invite a strike in the place you love. If you are claiming that this is Biafra land and so you want it to move, no. Until you get Biafra. We fought to get Biafra. And when we get, we enforce our rules and regulations. We are all into this fight. And I started even when most of them were not born. And I'm still in it. So what I'm saying is that you must allow sanity. You must cooperate with leaders. You don't create a state of anarchy. You don't invite nincompoops to come and destroy. If they destroy this land, where will you rule? Who will support you? When it's now time to go and speak grammar in the rest, did they go to Trump to talk? Did they go to the Congress to talk about what Trump did in Sokoto? They did not. But it helped us to enjoy a Christmas and a New Year. So all hands must be on deck. You must recognize the input of every person in this struggle. Yours is not different. Don't because you can hide your face and carry a gun, threaten anarchy in the land, because there will be no land by the time you finish cleaning everything. Cooperation is what we are asking. Proper communication, sanity. Let us all reason together. Let us plan how to get to the destination we all strive for without shedding blood, without driving people away, without making it a place that is unlivable. If you are in Governor Soludo's shoes and you look around, every other state around you is okay. Your market is not, Anambra is not the capital of Biafra. Onitsha is not the capital of Biafra. Nothing. You don't see any reason why these people will leave their state, come to your state, and make it ungovernable for you. What have you done to them? What have they all carried to their state? There are 7 states in Igbo land. Apart from Onitsha, why are they not operating elsewhere? That they are threatening that they will shut down, go and watch, they will not go to any place. There are places they will go and they will not come back. So why are they threatening somebody who has been given authority by the people to look after them? If you want to contribute, go to him and dialogue with him and discuss with him so that together we shall achieve something better. You are not better than a professor. You are not. You only have that illusion. You only think it in your mind because you have guns and you can cover your face and talk. You can hide. Soludo is not hiding because he's delegated people to plan for them to put them through this developmental stage of Anambra. And you stay somewhere hidden and you are ordering. These people that are making this noise, are they in Anambra? Let them tell us where they are. We go there and meet with them. They are not. So why are they creating anarchy in the land? Why are they trying to destroy Anambra and they're hiding wherever they are? Every day they will call me, oh, I should send eating money for them. And I ask them, when I was as young as you were, I came out to fight for the enemies of Biafra, who we had identified as Nigerian soldiers. And now you are fighting your own blood, flesh and blood. You are fighting your people, destroying them, killing them. And you say you are trying to save them. You are not trying to save them. Come out from criminality. Come, let us work together. Before you could declare Biafra, there was a dialogue. Every person somebody was called to the table. An edition was taken. It was in the Eastern House of Assembly in ENUGU. And I was there. So let us not deceive ourselves. Let us stop frightening people. Let us stop intimidating people. Let us stop harassing those that the people have selected to lead them. If you think, come out and do for election and win. That is my stand.
All right then. Do I have your attention, Your Highness? Looking at the situation in the South is what, as a prominent leader like you and other leaders, what is being done to mediate the sit-at-home culture? What is being done currently and is still in the process?
What is being done is to make the people know the truth. The truth is that the Biafran leader, Nnamdi Kanu, says, sit at home. I don't append my signature to it. Come off it. Leave our people to go and look for food. You are worried, as Soludo says, since you have said that you will not be doing your trading on Monday, then sit at home. You want to sit at home, go and sit at home. So what is wrong with it? It's what you want. You want to sit at home, and he says, okay, I give you more days to sit at home. Why are we worried about that? You yourself chose that you will be sitting at home. And he said, okay, fine. This place is my land. This place, I am asked to look after this place. Please, can you carry your goods, go to your house temporarily? Let me remodel it. Let me look for those who will not sit at home on Monday in this market so that it can be helping them to feed, to live. But since you want to sit at home, go home. If you want to sit at home for 1 week, take it. If you want it for 1 month, take it. No person will bother you. So why are we angry? Why is it creating tension? It is not sit at home that Soludo's this thing that is creating tension. It's the threat by these boys. Is this threat of killing, this threat of maiming that is creating tension, not Soludo. Soludo only said, if you want to sit at home, beautiful. Since we have dialogue for 3 years plus and you still insist, please, can you live here? Give me opportunity to put this place in order and let me use it the way government wants it. Go and sit at home. Take your time. If you want to sit at home, that can you tell me? Soludo has done nothing. He has only encouraged you to take more sit at home. But Onyendu has said, I don't want to sit at home. Why are you enforcing it? You enforcing it for yourself or for who? Can't you see that it's affecting the economy of the Southeast? It's making people run away from Southeast. The people come from Cameroon, from Kenya, from Congo Republic, from Benin Republic to trade. And they say, no, don't go there on Monday. If you come to my community, no Hausa boy walks the streets on Monday. No business of non-indigens opens on Monday because of fear. Why should you frighten people? Now people are running away to Asaba, running away to Lagos, running away to everything, and they are going to suffer. People, they are being destroyed. Have you gone to save them there? They ran away because you have created insecurity in your zone. And the people that were selected by us to say, okay, run our economy, are crying. This thing you are doing is destroying the economy. Come, let's talk. And you are running away and threatening them. That is, you are creating a state of anarchy, of insecurity. You are frightening people away from the Southeast. And that is what I hate. So it's only said, fine, since 3 years is not enough for us to dialogue, please go to your house. He did not drive any person away from Anambra. He did not drive any person away from Southeast. Just go and stay somewhere else. Let me recover this market, remodel it, and see those who will be coming on Monday to trade here because it will help the economy of Anambra. That's all he said. So let us get it right. Soludo's order did not cause insecurity, did not cause anarchy or a threat. It is those who are saying, we are going to rain bullets on you, we are going to kill you. They are the ones that are destroying the economy. They are the ones that are creating insecurity and panic in the land. And they should desist from it because Onyendu has said, please stop. And if you don't have respect for leadership, then how can we survive? If Onyendu, the person you are worshiping, the person you are fighting for, said, stop. If a general says, don't go this way, and you go, what will happen to you? You will be crushed by the enemies. They will waylay you because the leader has seen that that place is not safe for you. And you, a lieutenant, is insisting that you must go that way.
So much, so sorry to cut
Please,
you short.
Right.
The whole conversation cannot be had in a day. I'm so sorry to cut you short. Of course, with further developments, we'll reach out to get your opinion on them.
His voice.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Chukwuemeka Ilono, a traditional ruler of Ifite Dunu and in Anambra State, actually. And of course, we talked about the Governor Soludo closure of the Onitsha main market and the way forward. Today is the day where everybody's supposed to go back to the market 10 a.m. prompt. Of course, we're going to look out for that and have further conversations when it happens. Thank you so much for joining us on the Signature Morning Show. We'll go on a short break and we'll be back.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours. Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
We are local.
International communities observing every
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. We are local.
international communities observing every
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
You're still watching Signature Morning, coming to you live from Signature TV, and news reaching us is saying that a civil society group is at the National Assembly demanding for NAS to exercise rapid attention to the Electoral Act. Now we have with us on the phone our correspondent in Abuja, Chimezie Nzedima, who is at the location to give us an update on what is going on. Good morning, Chimezie. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm very well.
So what exactly is going on? Where are you and what is going on there?
Okay, I'm currently in the front of National Assembly, and as we know, today was meant to be a protest. Let me give a little background. Just last week, Wednesday, civil society organization groups, as you said, and political activists and some women organizations staged a protest in front of the National Assembly. And their grounds was the failure of the National Assembly to pass the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to provide for the transfers of results from the polling booth to the IRF, which will eliminate every form of stopover at collation center, local government or state collation center. And to them, the implication of this will help eliminate any form of electoral manipulation. But rather than seeing the initiative of this, the Senate or the National Assembly set up a special committee that they will look into this and report back to the Senate. But this development didn't sit well with the protesters, and that's why they called for a massive protest to be staged this morning on Monday. However, we came here as early as 7 a.m. Nigerian time, but everywhere was free. Access was easy. Workers came early, entered without any form of rigorous security checks. Right until to this point, there is no form of security blockage or any form of protest. Everywhere seems calm and free. And one could only allege is because the National Assembly doesn't hold a plenary session on Monday. So it might be that these protesters have scheduled another date for this protest. But right now, currently as I speak, everywhere is calm and free. Everyone is going in and out of the National Assembly like nobody's problem.
All right, Chimezie, of course, if there are other things that develop right after this conversation, just let us know so we could put you on and get that information out there.
I will do that. I'll be standing by. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, now moving on to our discussion this morning, another conversation looking at workers' welfare in Nigeria. We've seen that it has been under intense scrutiny in recent years. We see repeated strikes and, a lot of agitation from workers for a number of reasons. And so this morning we're speaking with the NLC chairman, ENUGU State Chapter, Comrade Fabian Wibo, to give his perspective on these pressing issues in the country. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on Signature Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Right. Now, how would you describe the current state of workers' welfare in Nigeria today? Would you say that things are improving, or they are just stagnant, or they're deteriorating? What exactly is the status of Nigerian workers' welfare?
Very well. The condition of a Nigerian worker, it's a very terrible one. The salary paid to workers is stagnant by its nature. But you can see that every other item that the workers will have to deal with are all increasing in nature on daily basis. Look at where that we were about to say, thank God is coming down. Immediately it has gone back again. Some are selling above 900 naira now. Some are selling 900. Some 880, very few. You look at every other thing. The prices of items have continued to skyrocket. Yet the salary of workers has remained sacrosanct. It remains the same thing. Since 2024, that we had the last minimum wage, the salary remains the same thing for those who have earned the minimum wage. Because you can look at the case in FCT. It's fundamentally on the non-implementation of the minimum wage or and payment of arrears, non-payment of arrears of both wage award and minimum wage. So the situation of a worker in Nigeria is a very terrible one, is a horrible one, where you are receiving, for instance, 80,000 as minimum wage, when a bag of rice was sold for 50, 60,000. You remain on that 80, while a bag of rice is 120. I'm using this as an instance. You remain on that 80, while a gallon of groundnut oil that was sold for 5,000 before is now 27,000. So everything, you know, continue to skyrocket. The price of items, price of goods and services, yet the salary have remained the same thing. So you can imagine the situation of a worker. You can imagine the condition of a worker. So things are not getting better. The little money added in the name of minimum wage has been eroded by inflation. You know, inflation that has swept off completely the so-called minimum wage. Of course, you know, most of the states in Nigeria paid a kind of wage award, wherein they just added a particular amount, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, depending on the benevolence of the sitting governor. No consequential adjustment. And they said it's minimum wage. You know, minimum wage goes with consequential adjustment. The essence of consequential adjustment is to separate, to differentiate, to show the difference between level 1 and level 16. But where you decide to dash everybody 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 as the case may be, what you have succeeded in doing is to pay a wage award. Because a director in level 16 or 17 as the case may be has more responsibility than a level 1 step 1 or level 1 step anything or level 3 or 5 who may be new in the service or in the system. Most of the directors have 2, 3 undergraduates they are training. Unlike somebody in level 2 or level 3 or level 4. And you now pay level 1 what you pay to level 16. The same addition. Added 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever amount you think you want to dash. And it is said that they have paid minimum wage. Now, a director that has 50,000 naira or 40,000 naira or even 70,000 naira added to his salary as a minimum wage, in a country where that amount cannot buy a bag of rice, has his or her condition improved? So it's a horrible one for every worker in Nigeria. Thank you.
How, at this point, how has these fails from the government affected the productivity in the country and also promoted brain drain?
Yeah, of course. You know, we have high number of workers in this country. And not just that, when you pay one worker, you have paid at least 5 persons. So almost all the workers, every worker has a family. And once you get a job, other people become dependent on your earnings. Your father, your mother, your wife, if you have one, your children, your siblings, depending on their status or standing in the society, whether they are students, whether they are working, whether they are unemployed. But what is fundamental is that every worker has a huge responsibility in this country. And when you don't pay a worker very well, a lot of persons suffer. You know, when we have money in our hands that we go to the market, when we go to market, those who are selling goods will get the money back from us. They will go to the company where they are buying or factory and buy. The country will have enough to produce money, to buy raw materials and produce further goods. So if you shrink what goes to the workers, definitely the production system will be going down. Apart from the issue of salary and welfare of workers, the whole system is chaotic. Companies are closing and leaving the country. You know them as well as I know them. But fundamentally is that workers are not well taken care of. It is the workers that will redistribute the income when it gets to their hands. You just receive and give away. If they pay you salary, you cannot go and put them in a cash tank. You go to market, you pay school fees, you pay rent. They are the most sector of the economy that circulates money. They pay rent, they pay school fees, they buy food, they transport themselves to work. They do a whole lot of things. And that's how the money circulates. And it's when the money gets to the last man who is producing, then you begin to produce. So, and when you don't pay a worker well, he is thinking of what next to do. Now my salary is 80,000 naira. My rent is every month 25 or 30,000 naira. For those living in 1 or 2 rooms, face me and face you. My this is that, man. And after paying that very week, that salary enters his pocket. That was the end of it. The money has been exhausted. It's not even enough. And what do you think that the person will do? Thinking on how to survive? And what output do you think you get from the person? You're talking about brain drain. You find out that the person will not be settled. The person cannot put in his best because he's thinking on how to survive. Those who have opportunity of going outside the country will go to immigration office. Every day, thousands of Nigerians are seeking for international passports, applying and obtaining. Where are they going to? Do you use international passport to move from Abuja to ENUGU, or from ENUGU to Lokoja, or from ENUGU to Akwa Ibom, or from Sokoto to Kaduna? Is it not run out of the country? Because the place is too hot and so terrible on the people living here. So you can now imagine the condition of a worker like you are. Thank you.
Right now, Comrade Wibo, we see that these strikes has been used as a tool of negotiations, in various sectors, both when it comes to public services, even in the airport, power supply and the likes. But who exactly bears the brunt of these strikes? Because these strikes seem to hurt ordinary Nigerians, as we also talk about, using it as a way of negotiating with the government for improved welfare of workers. So do you think that these strikes are still necessary or still have the impact that it's supposed to have with regards to improving workers' welfare?
Definitely, yes. If you look at the procedure, strike is always the last point of it. Before the labor embark on strike, they must have tried other avenues, discussing with the employer, negotiating with the employer, writing the employer, doing correspondences must have taken place. It is only when it gets to a point that you can't get any result from the employer that you embark on strike or peaceful protest. So it remains important too. And we find out that most of the times when the employers or whoever hears that they are about to embark on strike or they are going to protest, most of the time they sit up. Most of the time they sit up. So it remains important too. You say that average Nigerians suffer during strike. Are you not suffering now that there's no strike? Are you not suffering? Which one is better? To remain a slave in your own land, or to protest and get yourself out of your trouble? So I don't understand what you mean by people suffer during strike. Are you not suffering now that there's no strike? Are you not going through a lot of trauma, even without strike? So what suffering are you talking about? Strike is a temporary measure that's put in place. So I'm waiting the minds of those who have started to to be sleeping when they are not supposed to be sleeping? Who tries to be wicked upon the people? So it has nothing to do with people suffering this. Suffering what? Someone that's fighting to emancipate himself or herself from a situation, a dungeon. And you're talking about suffering. Which one is better? The one you're going through now? Or when you embark on strike and get yourself out of the circle? I don't see it as a situation. And that's why most Nigerians, once you declare strike, they will start to murmur. Nigerians are suffering already. You want to put more strike on, more suffering, and you're suffering already. When is your suffering going to end? When will it come to an end? So it's our option. If you want to do this and get free from our troubles, good. You want to remain where we are in the same circle and continue to suffer, so that we don't embark on strike that may bring suffering upon Nigerians. Beautiful. But I tell you, the leadership of this country, they are adamant with regards to the condition of an average citizen. Whatever that happens to you makes no meaning to them. It's only when you raise your voice that they will say, who is there? Outside of that, it's a pity.
Steps can be taken, can be put in place in order to improve workers' welfare and also reduce the cycle of strikes in Nigeria?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
All right, I said, what practical steps can be taken to improve workers' welfare and also reduce the recurrent strikes that we have in Nigeria?
Okay, there are lots and lots of steps that can be taken. One, NSC is already saying the so-called minimum wage of 30, 40, 50,000 as the case may be, given to workers in 2024, has been eroded by inflation. You need to address the minimum wage. You need to increase the pay, workers' salary. What we have today cannot take anybody. They say it's a take home. You can't take anybody to the bus stop. So one of the measures is to address the case of the minimum wage. Pay people real wage. Pay people real wage. Stop dashing them money. What you receive is that. They will sit over a cup of coffee and will come out to say, let's add 20,000 to them so that their suffering will continue. That is very, very bad. The condition of the worker should improve. They should reconsider the plight of an average worker in Nigeria by paying a worker a real wage, not even the so-called minimum wage. Again, the country is not producing as it ought to produce. There are lots and lots of corruption in this system. People prefer to pack our money and go and invest in Dubai, in different countries, buy estates in those areas at the expense of Nigerians. We are praying with them to begin to invest those money. I want to particularly plead with the federal government. Those of them who are our leaders, that we, instead of taking our money outside to invest outside, let them invest here. Let them give them opportunities to invest here. But when they invest, when they build factories, they recruit Nigerians. That is reducing unemployment. They pay those people. But when they are afraid of EFCC, ICPC, and so on, they run out to go and dump the money. And most of them, after dumping it, they cannot have access to it and bringing them back. They use our money to develop other economy while we suffer here. It's not as if we're saying that these anti-graft agencies will not operate, but we're saying that government can find a way, navigate around, give some opportunity for those who have probably had opportunity to our income, our money, to invest here than going outside to invest. If they invest here, the economy of the country will improve. Unemployment will reduce and people will get busy. So one of the conditions is to better the lot of the workers by paying them well. Another is to ensure that the economy becomes a producing one, not a consuming economy. Basically, when these two things are done, we could see improvement. Thank you.
Right. So now, finally, apart from the issue of wages, let's look at broader workers' welfare. What are some of the other pressing welfare challenges that are facing Nigerian workers today?
Okay. Yes, you said apart from wages, that is very, very fundamental. That's very, very fundamental. If you are hungry, I don't know what other package you'll be talking about. Okay, in the past, workers are trained in service. Workers have other opportunities. You may be hired, and after some time, you are allowed to go to school for those who come into the system without having adequate certificates. You go to school, they train in service training, and a whole lot of other things in that regard. Leave of absence, you go for training still. After training, you come back. All these things have been closed completely. You will not have leave of absence. They cannot train you in the service. In those days, you come into the service with level 4 WAEC, and you write jam and the office, the government will begin to train you. After which you come back and continue with the system. Today, those things are no longer there. Those things are no longer there. In the past, there are insurance for workers, wherein if anything happens to a worker while in service, this is what the estate will benefit, the family. Those things no longer exist today. So, if the government really meant well for the workers, first of all, they should ensure that they are well paid. Very fundamental, very key. If the person, a worker, is well paid, the person will now put in his or her best in the system. And when everybody begins to put in his or her best, you find out that the system will be better than what we are going through today. Today, what people do is the most you can do, whatever you can do to hustle, to navigate around the whole system, and at least eat and pay for the basic needs. You go ahead. And it's affecting the system. Some will come to work, do one or two things, and the next time they're looking out somewhere else to see if they can meet ends. It's because the whole system is bad. It's because workers are poorly paid. It's because the welfare of workers have been eroded. Nobody thinks about workers. To the extent that people still receive 80,000, and take for instance what is happening in FCT. People still complaining and fighting for their minimum, the so-called minimum wage to be paid. 40,000 naira addition to be paid. And the government is saying, will I only pay salaries and arrears of salaries? I have.
Comrade Fabian, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry to cut you short. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. The time is fast spent already.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Comrade Fabian Uwibo is a chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, ENUGU State. And of course, he joined us to talk about workers and the strike going on in Nigeria and also the way forward. Thank you for joining us once again. And this is where we connect to our Abuja studios to take over the Signature Morning Show from ENUGU Studio. I am Quinsley Rowland.
And I am Uchenna Chimdi Olwoha. Have a nice day.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
The issue we're discussing this morning is the resignation of the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, from his party, the NNPP, the New Nigeria People's Party. There are indications, at least from the statement his media aide made yesterday, which most of the papers are repeating this morning, there are indications that he could join the ruling All Progressives Congress today. The first indication was yesterday, Sunday, did not happen. Current indication is that he could join the party, that is the All Progressives Congress, APC, this Monday morning. Our reporters are in the field trying to monitor whether that will happen or not. And I have a guest in the studio. I will not introduce him yet. For this morning, let's bring you an update. You know that workers of the Federal Capital Territory are on strike. They have a number of issues they are raising against the Federal Capital Territory Administration. And on Saturday, a statement released on Sunday, the Nigerian Labour Congress weighed in and said, look, we are wholly with you. We are going to mobilize sympathy. We are going to mobilize solidarity with you. And what are the issues in contention? The workers say monies are deducted from their salaries for pension, housing fund, and those monies are not remitted into those facilities. And so you take money from my salary, saying that you took it because of my pension, and you keep it. So if I retire to poverty. And I don't even get the opportunity to get a loan to own a house. Now the workers also say they don't have work tools. And a number of them are complaining that 5 months of unpaid salaries in this kind of economic hardship. And so instead of looking at things the way they are, they have taken matters into their own hands. And the Federal Capital Territory Administration this morning went to the Industrial Court asking his lordships to declare the strike of the workers as illegal. And of course, the workers have laid siege to the Industrial Court with all manner of placards and singing songs of solidarity and asking that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike should be fired by the President. I have a correspondent who is right now at the Federal Capital Territory Administration offices to find out what the situation is. Let me see whether I get across to Nasir Usman. Nasir Usman, that's our correspondent at the Federal Capital Territory Administration. Let's see whether we can get across to Nasir Usman to give us an update on what the situation is there. Earlier when I spoke with him, Nasir said that the security operatives had cordoned off the entire secretariat and were not allowing reporters, journalists to go in or go out. Let me see whether Nasir will be able to pick the call and give us the latest development from that place. Well, incidentally, Nasi did not pick up his call. I also have Chimezu Uzedima, who is at the industrial court. Maybe in the course of this program, Chimezu will call him. But for now, let me now unwrap what I have for you regarding the resignation of the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf. And my guest this morning is the national chairman of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Agbo Major. Chairman, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, my senior brother. Good morning,
you're looking quite calm. You're not looking as if you are operating a very stormy sea.
Well, what do we do when we have no answers to some of these things that come our way on a daily basis? It's only God that has answers to these things. So when they come, you take them, you just stay calm, take them, absorb whatever are the shocks arising therein, and then you move on.
Let's look at why the governor said he resigned. He said he resigned because of irreconcilable crisis in your party. And bad news for your party, the governor is resigning with a lorry load of members of his cabinet, with a very big number of members of Kano State Legislature, with some members of the National Assembly, and a horde of sympathizers. That cuts down the weight of the party. An irreconcilable crisis. Is there irreconcilable crisis in your party?
Well, thanks so much for this question. It's quite a fundamental one, but repeatedly we've tried to deal with it. But as many times as we need to keep addressing them, we'll continue to address them. In the governor's resignation letter, he said he was resigning on two premises. Premise number one is that there are irreconcilable differences in terms of the leadership of the party. Then premise number two, which is, to me, is the most important, and to the party is the most important, is the fact that he insists he needed to be free enough to serve the good people of Kano in terms of delivery of dividends of democracy. So for us as a party, since the event started unfolding, what we have continued to address is the issue of the governor desiring to be free to serve the people, because that's what matters to us. Because the other side, which is the issue of leadership, yes, there was from about June 2023 until March or April last year, when we had the first court judgment which expressly placed the leadership of the party in the hands of the Board of Trustees led by Dr. Boniface Adebuna, who is incidentally is the founder. The same judgment directed that all other organs of the party be activated, to make the party functional. So that was settlement number one. That laid to rest the perennial leadership crisis that had existed from June 2023 until that early 2025. And then when we started the process of, in line with the court judgment, the process of holding the congresses across all the levels, we successfully had the ward congresses, the local government congresses. The day we were to move into the state congresses under the purview of the BOT as directed by the Abia High Court judgment. They went to court. Kwankwaso and his people, the Ajuji-led whatever they call themselves, went to an FCT High Court where they sought a reprieve, that something was happening and that they were not sure. And as is typical of courts, when you come with an emergency like that, they try to give you some space to breathe.
A window.
A window. So in their usual style, and for the purpose of making the rule of law work, they granted an interim order which restrained us from continuing with the process. Recall that we had finished ward and local government.
Was that an ex parte order?
Yes, it was an ex parte order.
Okay.
And as respecters of the rule of law, we stopped the process to enable the court look at all the sides and then take a decision. So after about 7 days, the court sat and then said that they were not going to stop the internal affairs of a political party. And so the coast was clear for us to continue. And we continued with the process until we eventually had the National Convention, which enthroned me as the national chairman and Chief Olakbosi Ogini as the national secretary. So that effectively settled the leadership crisis.
Settled the leadership crisis.
The leadership crisis that the governor was afraid of. We can understand the governor's body language. We know that as a Democrat and as a gentleman, his desires were not to even allow the crisis to have persisted for that long. But the masters, the governor's boss, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, we know him for what he is. He insisted that nothing would be settled and all of that. And so the crisis persisted until the courts had to step in. Ordinarily, you know that when party matters get into the courts, it becomes a suspense thing that all the parties have to wait to see what the court will say and all of that. So that created a lot of apprehension. So the people that are living, to answer you directly, the people that have left with the governor, we had even, because of the turbulence that Kwankwaso created in the party, they were even patient enough to have stayed for this long. We saw it coming. But why we are not bothered is that we already had, a lopsided arrangement where we had, as a party, it's not good for us to just be in one state. So our ideals, our thinking has always been, how do we also get to power across the other regions and all of that? So it is a balance of what we had wanted. But the truth is that the governor said that there is suspense. He acknowledges the fact that there are recent court judgments that has placed his being a candidate in 2027, the fate on the hanger. So he's not completely sure of what would happen. That's why you see people now.
In fact, I was going to something, please. Yes. I hope you don't mind my interjection. A court had ruled, party had followed the court ruling, and the party had gone ahead to conduct congresses. A leadership has emerged. A legitimate leadership has emerged. Can I know, after following the court process and the BOT, you emerged as national chairman and other officials, according to court ruling, what other crisis was there that was irreconcilable? I'm wondering what other crisis that...
Just your guess is, your worries are as good as mine. And that's why we have repeatedly told the governor that we cannot see any crisis that is irreconcilable here. When two brothers fight and they are unable to sit down to settle, the court steps in. The court has spoken, and it has spoken loudly. So what are your fears? There is nothing irreconcilable there. It is not just one judgment. We are talking of two judgments from two different courts of jurisdiction, strength, and competence. So what would be anybody's fear? So we are fighting with the governor on the grounds that there's no reason for him to have left. But I can understand.
Is the governor timid? Is he unsure of himself? Let me tell you what.
No, I think he was just looking for an escape route. He was just looking for an escape route in the sense that he has been held down for long. They won't let him perform as governor. The box stops on his table. At the end of the day, if he fails, he's the one that has failed. Nobody will say Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who is the shadow governor, is the one that has failed. Nobody will say Buba Galadima, who is making all the noise in Abuja, trying to direct the governor on what to do, is the one that has failed. It is Abba Kabir Yusuf that has failed. So if, yes, his departure is not good for the party, especially for the fact that he's the only governor we have. But if I were in his shoes, I will also look for how to free myself so that I will be able to keep to the dictates of democracy by delivering to my people.
Let me call a line you made here when last week on this program. You said that Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was no longer a member of the NNPP.
Yeah.
Abba Yusuf is governor from the NNPP. How come a non-member of your party is determining what your governor will or will not do and seems to determine his political survival?
Well, it's good that you're asking this because these are facts that you need to know as a media person. Aside being the governor, aside being a member of the NNPP, is a core and a very strong member of the Kwankwasia movement, that we engaged and brought in as a bloc in the NNPP in 2022. So, Abba Kabir Yusuf, the dominance of Kwankwaso over Abba Kabir Yusuf is not drawing that strength from
NNPP.
Yeah, from NNPP, because he's not a member of the party. He's drawing that strength to dominate the governor from the Kwankwasia group. Because he continues to lay claim to the fact that they were the ones, it was the Kwankwasia group that delivered Abba Kabir Yusuf. He has forgotten that the Kwankwasia group that he's talking about in Kano is just a fraction that is not strong enough to deliver a governor in a state with well over 5 million votes. So Abba Kabir Yusuf, because of the love people have for him, was voted across party divides. The PDP, the APC, the Labour Party, the PRP and all of that, they all voted for him because they loved him. And I think they still love him, I don't know. But the truth is that he needed to free himself from the claws of one man who does not believe in the progress of his own state, but believes only in what will come to him.
Let us say something positive about Yusuf from this your presentation. It means then that Abba Yusuf was a very loyal person.
Yes, but you see, when loyalty is taken too far, these are some of the problems we have with our democracy. We've gone around the world, we've seen how democracy is practiced, we've seen how people are sent to power, how people ride on the wings of others to ascend to power. But they get to power, they won't disrespect those wings through which they rode to power. But they will also try to manage their relationship with them and ensure that they serve the people. So when loyalty is at the detriment of the people, it becomes a minus for democracy.
Okay, I will please ask you to interpret what Abba Yusuf said yesterday, which was being quoted in some of the newspapers this morning. Abba Yusuf said that he was going to align Kano State with the federal and to be able to bring about development, to be able to tackle insecurity, to be able to boost education, and bring about overall improvement in the lives of the people. Now, please, there are two dimensions to this. Is it to say that while Abba Yusuf was an NNPP governor, the federal government stifled his capacity to deliver?
Very good.
And now that he's freed to join them, the federal government will now hold back on his partisan reins and bring those things that make Kano State progress.
You brought the question. You also provided the answer.
No.
As if you are reading my mind. Because I was going to tell you that for a democracy that works, the relationship between the center and the smaller levels should not be dependent on whether the leaders at those smaller levels belong to the same party with you. For a democracy that works. That is one of the fears we should have for our democracy in Nigeria and maybe in Africa in its entirety. It's a dangerous trend that has to stop. We must have to stop it, otherwise our democracy cannot flourish. We have seen it happen. They want you to be at the same, pedestal, party-wise, with them at the center before they can cooperate with you. That's not good. But having said that, democracy is all about lobbying. So you don't have to be antagonistic like his boss does always on the screens of TV. Most times you see him come here. Is there any name he has not called the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. What name is left for him to call the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is that the right thing? As you are doing that and you say you are a leader, other Nigerians are looking at you. Will they ever respect you? Whether we like it or not, I've continued to say it that what separates us or divides us is the campaigns. After every campaigns and winners emerge, you are not looking at the individual that is sitting there, you are looking at the office itself. It is incumbent on us to protect that seat, just like America would protect the seat, not Trump. Just like South Africa will protect the seat, not their president. That's what we should be doing here. You don't wake up every morning from whatever side of your bed and you begin to insult the president. You begin to say all sorts of things that are not even there. You arrogate to yourself the importance that you do not have politically. So that level of antagonism And for the fact that the government knows that as at then, Abba Yusuf was not separable. You can't separate him from Kwankwaso. They would also be looking at him that he's also thinking along that level. So breaking away from Kwankwaso is a plus for him because he would become more friendly to the government. He would also attract more developments because you cannot be insulting me every day and you think I should be listening to you. Though I have insisted that that's not good for our democracy. But in African culture, you don't just wake up and start insulting your leaders like that. So the truth is that he has taken the best decision ever that I can imagine in the interest of the good people of Kano, which is what he continues to repeat. Our only quarrel is that the party is one.
Good. That's exactly where I'm coming to, Agbo. He has taken a sound step in his own interest and interest of a political career and that of good people of Kano State, so you say. But that's not in the interest of NNPP.
Yes, it is not.
So you're just...
It is not because we have lost a governor.
Good.
We have lost a governor. We're worried about it. But let me tell you, I'm only speaking to you as a media man, but at the back, we did everything possible to make him stay, make him understand that the division you are talking about is just imaginary. It's not even existing. But as a politician, he wouldn't listen to that because he has, since 2023, according to him, he has been governing under perennial pains, under pressure, both from the party resulting from the crisis and from his Kwankwasia and the Kwankwasia leader, who continues to determine what he does for the good people of Kano.
Yeah,
so he came under intense pressure.
Yes.
So the combination of these pressures from the two sides is what has made him to now say, okay, this seems irreconcilable to me. And don't forget that I've told you in my introductory statements that he made every effort to see if he could, sort out this thing. Because he knew that what Kwankwaso has done is a crime against humanity. It's a crime against morality. It is unknown to the African tradition. Somebody gave you a platform free of charge and even gave you his money. I'm talking of Dr. Boniface and even the founder of NNPP. Gave you his money to go and start. He didn't ask you to bring money. Rather, he gave him his own money to go and start. The same person, under the provisions of the Constitution, is not suspendable even for 1 minute. That is what the Constitution says. Life member of the party. But he manipulated, did a lot of things, and then ensured that they pronounced a suspension and thereafter an expulsion on somebody who cannot be suspended even for 1 minute. Is that not a violation of the constitution of the party? Is that not a violation of moral code? So these are the issues we took in so much. The governor also was patient to have stayed up till now. Yes, he did his best, but then we tried to make him stay.
You know what? I've listened to you patiently. You will admit that Kwankwaso and Kwankwasia made great impact in and on NNPP. That state where Kwankwasia is a mass movement is the only state that NNPP won. That is a very loud statement of the advantage, of the capacity, of the input of that Kwankwasia movement. For it to achieve that, there must have been a political philosophy. In other words, the Kwankwasia movement must have an attractive vote-delivering philosophy, worst-case scenario in Kano State, which NNPP took advantage of. You have been this party. What is that philosophy? Now that it's about living, or has left, how much of that philosophy will NNPP lose? Let me ask you a very hard question. Will this indeed not lead to the outright death of NNPP?
No, not at all. Not at all. That is a short answer to
this last question.
To the second lab. Now let us go back to the main issues. Yes, every movement has something embedded, built into it that attracts followership to it. I agree with you. Again, you are speaking as a journalist, and I'm speaking to you as somebody who is part of the system. I'm not a member of the Kwankwasia movement. But we took in the Kwankwasia movement into the party. So some of us who like, reading, took our time to try to look at what Kwankwasia is all about. And the key thing I got from there is that the real philosophy, you recall that, I will come to that, but you recall that one Professor Haviz came out about 48 hours ago to say that the Kwankwasia movement ab initio was not Kwankwaso's brainchild, that they formed it. In his usual style, they made him prominent, he tried to hijack it. Now, what attracts, or rather attracted people to that, was this deception. Kwankwaso is one man who would tell you this is the way we are going, and he goes the other way. And you wouldn't understand what he's doing. This deception that the platform is for everybody, that everybody has a voice, whether you are economically disadvantaged or advantaged over others. That's the attraction. That's what brought a lot of people. You know that in the North, there is a high level of illiteracy as well as poverty.
In other words,
let me finish.
Yes.
Because if you break me now,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
So in the North, politicians take advantage of these two factors, illiteracy and the excruciating poverty level of the people, unlike in your Southeast or maybe in the Southwest and all of that. But coming to the Kwankwasia movement itself, they took advantage of that to attract people in. They had different layers of people who were canvassing and bringing in people. Let me tell you today that the people that left before now and those who left yesterday are the foot soldiers of the Kwankwasia movement. It's just that in Kwankwaso's usual style, he sits somewhere to want to take all the glory. That's what he does. Abba's departure from the Kwankwasia movement is a huge minus for the Kwankwasia movement that you're talking about. I'm telling you that in the next few months, you will see that movement completely demystified. Let me tell you, there is no Kwankwasia movement without the likes of Senator Kau, who left earlier last year. He was elected to be a senator, Kano South, on our party platform. He left earlier in 2025 with another 5 House of Reps members, the likes of Honorable Rurum, the likes of Honorable Rogo, and all of that. You talk about the present deputy minority leader, these are the real strikers that provided the results that Kwankwaso relied on to insult people. These people left with the spirit of the Kwankwasia movement. Whatever you are seeing now is the carcass. Whatever the governor and the rest are doing to what is left of Kwankwasia is like burying it finally. But you people within the media houses wouldn't understand what we are saying. But I'm telling you that that strength with which they would determine who is long gone with the exit of these principal people. You cannot do anything in Kano South of Rurum and the rest. Rurum was 2-time speaker of the Kano State House of Assembly. He's a celebrated politician that is well loved by his people. Alima Daki of Dala, where the votes are, the vote bank of Kano, Dala local government, that is the largest local government in Kano in terms of voting strength. Alima Daki, the present deputy minority leader. These are people who left with the soul and spirit of the Kwankwasia movement. They provided all the strength. When Ganduje was governor of Kano State and Kwankwaso was banned from entering Kano, they made sacrifices, the likes of Alima Daki, and they made sacrifices to bring Kwankwaso in by road through Kaduna. Alima Daki told me personally the number of vehicles he lost to hoodlums in the course of trying to bring Kwankwaso into Kano, after having been banned from entering Kano for a very long time. So that spirit, that glory, long departed from the Kwankwasia movement. But you will not understand until then. So when I see him threatening Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, I only laugh because these are the field men who delivers the results for him to sit in the comfort of his parlor to say, I am the one that is doing this and doing that. Who told him he is? is gone.
Okay, he says he is. But let us use this Yusuf resignation as a launch, as a peg to look at a trend in Nigerian politics from two dimensions. The first is everybody in Nigeria is worried about defection. Well, the governor, I just said earlier that the governor is supposed to defect today. He was supposed to have done that yesterday. So defection is on the card. Defection into the ruling party seems to be collapsing political thought nationally, trying to bury alternative thought. And when I talk about alternative thought, Agbo, because governance is about thinking. Governance is about different dimensions to solving problems. And if all of us stick to only one dimension to solving it, we keep getting the same results in perpetuity. These other people, these other parties were providing alternative thought. But if everybody keeps defecting into one party, I don't want to think about one party system. I'm looking at a situation that there's no alternative thought. When Babangida was in power and he came out with the slogan, there's no alternative to SAP. Professor, I don't remember his name now very quickly, in Lagos, published a pamphlet, Alternative to SAP, that there's an alternative. But defection in Nigeria today seems to be saying there's no alternative thought. Does that worry you?
Yes, of course, every lover of democracy should be worried about this trend. I will look at it from two dimensions. Dimension number one is the fact that every party is supposed to be hinged on an ideology. And when people freely cross-carpet from one party to the other, these are two parties with different and contrasting ideologies. It becomes an issue because the strength of your campaign is dependent on the manifesto of the party on which you are running for an election. And the manifesto is derived from the philosophy of the party. So once there's a break in that link, it means something is fundamentally wrong democratically. And it directly impacts on your delivery while in office, if elected. So we should be worried about that. Now, the manifesto of NNPP, on the platform of which Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf was elected, is now jettisoned 1 year to another election. I don't know what he will be doing in this 1 year, whether he will be implementing policies that are APC driven, or he would continue with the popular NNPP policies that he complained is being stifled from being able to deliver. That should worry every lover of democracy. So, to directly now answer your question, democracy is not beautiful if everybody is on one line. Because being on one line also reflects directly on the thought patterns of everybody. So leadership will continue to be a misnomer, that a recurring thing that will not generate any creative result, because it will just be the same thing over and over again, like you have said. And I think if I am not too harsh as a Democrat to say on air, I want to say that why we are still in one place is because we've continued to revolve leadership. People who have no creative thinking have continued to perpetuate themselves in power. That's number one. Then number two, the Constitution is flawed. Some of us have been strong advocates, even when I was Public Secretary of the Inter-Party Advisory Council as at 2016, 2017, 2018. I was an active player in the IPAC, which provided, the roadmap and also monitors the political parties internally. IPAC tells the parties, do the things you have presented in your roadmap. That's one of the key jobs of IPAC. we ensured that it was religiously kept to. The parties were doing, and there were punitive measures for refusing to do what you have written there as what would guide you. So we ensured that the parties looked deeper into their policies and their philosophies. Because the argument we had during the Justice Way's panel, why Nigerians were against multiple political parties, were that there were no identifiable differences
between their manifesto.
Exactly. But when we took that as a challenge, and we now looked inwards, and we started getting the parties to look deeper into what has been provided in their manifestos and policies, and ensure that the thought pattern of Nigerians were taken away from that. I don't know if that is still going on within the IPAC arrangement, but that was one thing that we saw as a... So what I'm trying to say is that for our democracy, two things. One, it is not right for everybody to be on one page. That's not democracy. Because the robustness of democracy is the ability to disagree and agree. You know, every decision taken after disagreement is always the best.
Of course.
That's number one. Then number two, we need to look at constitutional reforms, which this National Assembly, the 7th National Assembly, I was part of the IPAC team then that presented a bill where we expressly tried to outlaw cross-carpeting. If you are known by a party and its policies and philosophies, and you are elected on the platform of that party and its philosophies, you stay there. If you want to move out, you wait until your term is over, you move out, move to another place and go and run on another party's platform. It was jettisoned. The 8th National Assembly, the same thing. Then, up till now that I'm talking about, I'm sure that it's part of the consideration of this National Assembly, but I can assure you that it won't see the light of the day, because they themselves are the ones perpetrating this. They want to have that latitude to be able to move around. And they are destroying the fabrics of our democracy, the very foundations of our democracy. Look at what Governor Yusuf has done to NNPP now. One governor, after 23 years, one governor, he has now gone. If that law were in place, would he have been able to leave? The answer is no. Even if he wants to leave, he would leave by the time his term expires next year. He can now leave and run on another party's platform if there is that opportunity. So it's killing our democracy. So the two things, the interplay of the two, whether you like it or not, is helping to further diminish our democracy.
Now, the second issue I was going to raise, which is also tied to this first one, is manifestos becoming deception. Because I'm told by those of you in politics that a mandate is a social contract. And that social contract is entered into on the condition of the manifesto you show to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you win election, and the governor did win election, now, and many of them did win election, and then you defect, it appears to me, or as an ordinary Nigerian, that you just use that manifesto to deceive. Because if you are voted for based on that manifesto, the mandate is dependent on that manifesto. Now you renege on it and join another party with a different manifesto